recording and video has begun. Oh, wait. We can't have that. Push that up there. Okay. And now video or audio is recording. Oh, sweet. It's all working. So here we go in 3, 2, 1.
We have more important things to do than ask questions.
Hello and welcome to Core, everybody. This is Core for Thursday, January 4th, 2024, the first real episode of the new year, right? Hold on. Oh, yeah.
The first episode at all.
All of the new year, not even real. We didn't do a fake one.
We didn't do a fake one either. This is it.
This is legitimately our first 2024 episode. It feels good.
I have a question.
Go.
Why do we say ask questions?
What do you mean?
Well, isn't it like ATM machine?
Oh, wait.
Don't we say a question? Like if we're asking.
Good point.
It's probably a question. If it's a question, it's like, this is a question. I have a question. He said a question. Can I propose my question to you? Why do we say, can I question with a question?
You're saying it's redundant is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. I never really thought about it. 44 years, and the first time it's sort of occurring to me that ask questions is kind of an ATM machine situation.
A little bit.
You're saying, and I think this might
What
be
else are you going to
fine.
ask? Can I ask?
Can I question?
Can I ask
Can I question? Maybe that's why, because it sounds weird.
Can I ask rude. A command?
Can I question?
Can I question you?
I have question.
I have a question.
I have a question.
Would you like to hear my question?
That's not bad.
Could it?
Yeah. Less redundant. I get it. But ATM machine is very annoying because it's literally automatic teller machine when people say ATM
I
machine.
will always do it because it bugs people. That's one. There's some things that I don't do because I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. The ATM machine one has been said so many times.
Yeah.
I even did it recently on this show. I said, or on something we streamed, and sure enough, there were people in chat that were like, ATM machine, huh? Like immediately people jump on that one. I do it intentionally every single time.
Well, I can respect that.
I know it sets people off.
I can respect that.
What else are you going to ask? If you say, like, let me ask you a question, like, what other words can you end that sentence with? Let me ask you
why, but that's still a question.
Let me
ask you a...
Can I ask you something? How about that?
Favor. Can I ask you a favor?
Sure. Can I ask you a favor?
Something is also a little redundant. Like, because it asks literally, like, what else is ask but a question? You're going to be prompted for a response.
Right. If you say I'm going to ask you something, of course you're going to ask me something because something is always part of an ask.
You might say, I might ask you to lower the toilet seat when you're done, like, because I don't want to fall in if I'm a toilet seat sitter.
Yeah.
So that can be ask you to, okay, maybe I'm... Okay.
Could I ask you to please put the seat down? How does that sound?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Now, that's funny you bring that up. At New Year's Eve, at a party I went to.
What does ask even mean?
Who even knows? But all that weed up in Canada...
I don't.
Who knows?
All that weed in Canada, you can I can feel it from here. But anyway, here's the thing. I was at this New Year's Eve party... And we, at my house, I have two bathrooms, and both toilets, we put in these seats where all you have to do is kind of tap them forward, and they slowly hydraulically drop down and land on the seat.
That came standard in my house. It's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. And once you get used to it, it's amazing, but then you forget that they're not everywhere. So I'm over at these people's house, and I'm like, can I use your bathroom?
These people
I decided to spend New Year's with.
I don't want to rub their name through the dirt just yet. But anyway, I go, can I use it? Yeah, no problem. And so I go in the other room and I do my thing. And then I do my little tap. And now the whole house hears this. Wham! Like it made the biggest sound ever. Oh. And I came out and I go, you probably have those slow ones at home. And I said, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I hope I didn't crack anything. And it's twice I've done it at their house. So anyway, it's fun stuff. I'm glad you brought that up, Bo, because it reminded me.
It's better than clogging the toilet at someone's house. That's the worst.
Yeah, don't be doing that.
Yeah, that's not good. Don't do that.
No, clog a lake. Real quick here. What was I going to say? Sometimes in our little group of gamers and friends and stuff, and the three of us in particular, when Baldur's Gate 3 comes out, we're getting Baldur's Gate 3. We're just going to get it. Other games hit, we get them day and date, or sometimes some of us pre-order them or whatever.
I pre-ordered something today.
Well, you did you? Can I guess what it was?
Yep.
What did you say last week about your most anticipated? Can I cheat and look back?
Oh, you can't look it up. It sounded like you knew. I was like, yeah, you're gonna totally windmill slam this.
I'm gonna guess. Oh gosh, what do you care about next year or this year?
I have a guess. My guess is without giving it. No, that would give it away. I have a guess.
Can you ask again? I'll let you ask your guess.
You probably bought it's probably the Like a Dragon 2 deal.
Yeah,
that would have been my
Like
guess,
a Dragon,
yeah.
Infinite
Yeah.
Wealth.
Okay, that makes
today.
sense. Yeah, I could see you doing that.
I watched the trailer. I know a bit more of the story. Instant buy it.
Really?
Yeah.
So you hadn't done it before now, and you knew you were going to buy this game, but something pushed you over the edge.
Well, there's also a pre-order bonus. You get 2 new jobs. It looks like football player and tennis player. So I was like, oh, sweet, that's awesome.
That game
and also, but also I saw the story and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna break. This is gonna break my heart, man.
Is it? You're gonna get 2 of these Yakuza games in a row.
It's a trailer. Do you want me to tell you what was in the trailer?
No, don't tell me, because I'm literally starting my Yakuza Like a Dragon in earnest. I'm on chapter 3.
It's
I'm
not a
making
spoiler.
my way through it.
Okay.
It's not a spoiler for the first one. It's just unique to this story, specifically
okay.
Kiryu.
Okay. I mean, I kind of want to know now that you've said
Yeah,
it.
'cause it's in the trailer. So Kiryu has cancer.
Oh shit. Well, that's not
Yeah,
good.
I was like, oh, he's like, you beat the shit out of anybody, but can't beat cancer, and it's like a big story point in this upcoming one is that he's dying.
Wow.
And I'm just like, oh no! I'm like, I gotta see what happens to buy. You know that meme where you're slamming the button. This is like immediate purchase. I'm just like, oh shit!
It makes me laugh because there's no difference between you doing it now and the day. Let's say the night before the game is playable, and you could just do the same thing. But do you think this is just a good way to make sure?
I just want to throw my money at them. Plus, I'm getting pre-order bonuses. Like I said, I gotta get the tennis player job and the football player job.
That's a good
I
point.
get those jobs.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the jobs are like you use them in combat because this is.
It's like Final Fantasy 14. You can swap out your class at any time by getting a new. It's like a job that you get for money, right? So it's like, I'm a football player now.
Love it.
But it's just for RPG combat. Yeah.
Love it. I never did when my played through, which I think I only got to How many chapters are there? It's like 9 or 10 or 12.
15.
Oh, more than I thought. I got to like chapter 5 or 6, and I never knew I could swap dudes out or swap out job.
You might not have gotten it yet because there's 15 chapters. It might be a chapter 5 or 6 thing.
Oh, is that later? Okay.
Did you go to the what's that place called? It's like the unemployment place. Like when you don't have a job.
Hello Help.
Oh yeah, Hello Work.
Hello Work. That's it. Hello.
Yeah,
Work.
you go to Hello Work and they're like, and someone internet star recently went to Hello Work and gave them their shitty background, which is somehow worse than the background the characters gave in the video game. That is like comical.
Wow.
That Boogie, did you see that video?
No.
Yeah, I saw
I have
that.
not
That
seen
Boogie
it.
went to one of these places, like, tell me about your background. He's like, I don't like doing anything. I might be a pedophile and whatever else. And the woman's just like,
Wow.
okay. Okay, then.
Might be a pedophile. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah, well, it was accused of it or something. Like it's just like the worst things ever. But this game's not that bad. But that's where you go. You go to beg for work and you're terrible. And you get to try different jobs,
Okay.
In the first one, you get to be a chef. You can change it to be a chef and you have like a butcher knife and cut things, or you can be a host.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Ichiban's starting job is, but I know the guy that I'm rolling with. His job
hero.
is homeless. Okay.
His job is
Yeah,
hero.
no, your first job is you're a hero. Like the base job for Ichiban is you're pretending that you're a Dragon Quest hero, so it's just hero. Then you got to get a real job. The jobs are fortune teller. You can be a fortune teller, a chef, a break dancer. That's a great job. A host of like a nightclub for a man, and for a woman, you can be like a sex hostess. Like,
Well,
one of
that's
the ultimate
sexist.
moves is like Essence of Extreme Bondage, and you tie a dude up and kick him in the nuts repeatedly.
They should have that. That should not be general or gender specific. They should let those swap.
They are gender locked, some of the classes. K-pop idols only for the ladies. And then what else? I think there's like a host. Hang on, what's one? Homeless is everyone has a default class. That's why the default class for Namba is homeless.
Yeah.
But he can be a chef or a fortune teller or a breakdancer.
But I also like that homeless is essentially he's like a mage.
Oh, you can also be like a security guard. Yeah, homeless. Basically, you have a lighter and you spit your alcohol on people and shoot fire.
Yeah, you have fire breath. You can make them get attacked by birds. You can debuff them by breathing on them.
And you take a nap on a cardboard box to heal.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
That-
awesome.
Now,
True.
like, here's the thing, and I've been thinking a lot about this because, like, this is the kind of thing that probably you wouldn't see in a big budget mainstream American release. But
Okay.
you see it come out of Japan because they're a little less touchy about poking fun about these sorts of things.
Sure.
But the thing about it is as much humor as there is in there about like, oh, he's homeless, he fights with an umbrella, he throws beans on people to get birds to attack him, he sleeps on a box. Like all these like jokes, right?
Yeah.
It has a like already like early on in the game there's a scene where Ichiban tries to get all the homeless people to stop sitting around and go get jobs. And this guy gives such an impassioned speech about like, you don't know these people's lives. You don't know their struggles. You don't know what they're dealing with. You just want to lump them all in as lazy or criminals or whatever. And you don't realize that these are people who are missing their soul. Like their spirit has been broken and you don't get to judge them for not having spirit. Like, and it's like really touching and heartfelt. And it's like, that's what I love about it is that with one hand, sure, you're throwing beans on people so pigeons attack them. But on the other hand, it's also respecting it in a weird way that makes you actually like have empathy and care. And that's the kind of stuff that I love that are in games like this that I wish more people were willing to take the risk to toy with, you know?
Yeah. They get a lot. It's I wouldn't say it's getting
true.
away with things, but they get to explore things by getting away with things a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it's like they just treat their subject as much as they make fun of them. They also treat them with love and respect at the same time. Like you can tell it's a philosophy of the developer to like, yeah, we're gonna make fun of the Yakuza that like to hang out together in diapers,
Yeah.
and roll around on the ground and yell "mama," but they're people too, and they're actually okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And, and I don't know, it's just like it's so, yeah, it's got a lot of heart.
Game's crazy. Well, good. Where was I going
Can't
with
wait for
all
part
this?
2. It's
Oh, I
gonna-
know what I was
it's-
saying.
It's gonna rip my heart out and stomp on it. It's gonna be so sad.
I never got around to it, which was my whole point was almost everyone I know outside of our little tight group got Baldur's Gate 3 for Christmas. And
Oh shit!
it just surprised me. I was just like, wait, you don't all have it already? No, I get
Man,
these.
we're
kind
never
of
gonna
things
hear
at
from
Christmas.
Sven again. That guy now has 10 yachts, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, he's doing good, right? Has to. This had to have been
He's taken the armor off. He set sail.
like how do you gauge this particular success? It must you can gauge it with dollars, but I'm sure
it's
this is
way beyond anything Divinity achieved.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm sure. It not only did it sell well leading up into pre-orders, it sold amazing at launch, and I'm not saying this is right, but it critically, in the public's zeitgeist, trounced Starfield in terms of public image. Not that it did it, the community did that, but when people are trying to decide between the game everyone's raving about and the Bethesda game that half of people, maybe unfairly, are dragging, sales are going to go to that for Christmas. Everyone I know is talking about it too. Like, what's this Baldur's Gate 3 thing? Like,
yeah.
it's reaching, fever pitch. It's won all the awards. That's going to bump up sales for Christmas and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this thing sold. This
It's
is the best
gotten
thing they've ever
over
done.
that there's a bump where something is for its audience, it's for its niche, and it's busted into mainstream where all of a sudden people that would otherwise never pay attention to it are going, well, what is this? And allowing themselves to be exposed to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a thing that just keeps picking up momentum because, if 5 new people get exposed to it and 1 it clicks with, they go tell all their friends and they're like, well, what is this? I never heard of this before. Like, oh, that's crazy, and it's a game that also makes for really incredible moments. So you just start talking about your experiences with it, and most people who hear you talking about it go, what what are you talking about?
Yeah,
What
tell
is
me
that?
more.
That sounds wild.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's this game. You can do anything. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what people just generally say about it. Like, because on the surface, that's what it seems like. It's a game you can do anything.
Yeah, my daughter got it for Christmas. She may even be playing it right now. But
nice.
she she's running over to me. Go, Dad, I started a war between the tieflings and the freaking grove full of these guys, and they're all pissed. And I can't find Halcyon anywhere. He's left, and she's telling me these stories about things that went differently than my playthroughs or your playthroughs or anyone else's. And also, she hates turn-based combat, but she's loving this. Like, there's something. John's right. There's something very bridge the gap happening with Baldur's Gate that genre really hasn't had before.
The companion, I think a lot of it's on the way to in comparison to Divinity. Like, they've really made the companions like, it's like another Mass Effect entry if you think about it. Like, Mass Effect's pretty huge. The Dragon Age games, like the BioWare formula, it's as much as it's a Larian style game, the companion focus of it makes it a BioWare style game, and those have been very popular, and people grow attached to the NPCs companions in those games too.
Yeah. It's funny. She gets mad at Asterion a lot, though. I can hear her over there. She'll go,
well,
damn it,
he's a
Asterion.
difficult character.
He got thrown off a cliff once or something. She had to save scum back to get that taken care of. Like, there's all this stuff going on, and I was like, man, this is great. I love watching this.
He's also like a born of trauma. He was made a vampire spawn by someone that's just used him for 1,000 years, and that's why he's the wicked monster he is. He's savable.
They should make him sleep on cardboard.
I saw it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I just thought that was interesting. Everyone's playing it now. That game sold really well at Christmas. And so for all of us early adopters, there's always more. There's always more. All right, you guys, we're going to dive into our big topic this week. And it's all around, well, really John's maybe favorite developer of all time. I don't know. I don't know where they stand with you, but we'll find out shortly as we talk about it. Square Enix in the news. Remember the whole NFT thing and all that business?
Yeah, right at New Year's
Yeah.
last year. Last year, 2023, the then president, no longer president, said, we're doubling down on NFTs in 2023.
Yeah.
And it got a
How's
lot
that
of
going for you?
attention and a lot of talk to start off the new year. And here we are, 2024, a new president of Square Enix. We're going to do the same.
New guy. And his so what he says, he wants to be very aggressive in their use of AI in 2024. And then gave no details, which I think is their main problem. Because if what they're saying, I've been thinking about this a lot this week since this broke. If they're saying we're going to use AI in all sorts of ways, we're exploring all the ways we can use it, and that means large language models, which aren't really AI but seem like AI. We're also talking about character and NPC behaviors, that sort of thing. If they would just come out and say, our plans are that to explore some of these innovations that have happened in the last couple of years and apply them to game design, I have no problem with that. Go for it. It's just that everyone assumes when you say something like this, especially because you're NFT PR from the year before, everybody's assumption is, oh, you're replacing artists with image generation. You're replacing voice actors with computer voice activated stuff. You're not. We don't want to support a company who does that. And all we're left with is the freak out, because that's all they'll say. And maybe it's cultural. They're mostly a Japanese company that doesn't use a lot of European or American mouthpieces in the offices here or there. So what you get is what you get. And maybe this is just fine to them. But the truth is they're not doing anything different than anyone else, probably. They haven't said. But most developers are exploring this. And many of them are being very open about it. In my show with Greg Street,
Microsoft bought an entire company dedicated to it.
Exactly, they did. And if you're telling me, hey, better NPC behavior, hey, dynamic raid content in your MMO, where, imagine a raid that changes and evolves based on what your team is doing rather than just set scripts of here's what he does and this is when he does it, and everyone memorize it. Okay, cool, we took down the boss. Maybe there's more that can be done there. Maybe some of this technology will get us there. Maybe I'm spoiled by Greg Street's plan to just expose this from day one. They've already talked about their plans for whatever AI they'll end up using. They don't want to use it for art and stuff where, creatives get dinged, but they want to use it in back, like kind of under the hood kind of ways. So my overall on this is just say stuff. Like if you're going to come out and go, we're all in, you don't read the room at all. You know that the quote unquote larger gaming public is sort of opposed to AI as a principle. And I don't think they're being all that reasonable either in the conversation that we're talking about. But Square's not giving them much to go on. It's just like, we're going to go crazy with it. Well, all right. We don't know what you mean. Good luck, I guess.
Does it help investors or just
maybe?
I think I think that's the same reason that they said NFTs last year. I think right now it's a hot button investor, and like investment opportunity. Like, hey, we're gonna we're exploring new technologies. Oh, let's give them money. They're exploring. They're on the cutting edge. But I mean, for me, I immediately I saw you tweet about this. I replied to it. Picture everybody in your immediate family. Now imagine each one of those people coming to you individually and telling you they got a hammer for Christmas.
Okay.
For some people, awesome. Sounds great. That's exciting news for you. My stepson, my 2-year-old comes to me, shows me they got a hammer for Christmas. I'm terrified. Like, the reaction is going to be very different depending on who is implementing this tool, right?
Yeah.
Like a hammer is a hammer, but a hammer in the wrong hands is a problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about all of this. Like, when I was going through all the Final Fantasies, we did the pixel remasters. That was Final Fantasy 1 through 6. And those were wonderful. They were amazing experiences. I got to 7 and I bought some PC remaster release of 7 that was on Steam. It looked like garbage. It was insulting that they would put their name behind that as this is one of our best landmark games in the series. This is the best we can do for a remaster of this. And I modded it. And one of the mods I got used AI to clean up and up-res and upscale the backgrounds for Final Fantasy VII. And it is the best add-on that I downloaded. I could have, running at 60 frames per second, a lot of these, better character models that looked cooler and interesting. Okay, I could have taken or left those. I did it because it was very easy to mod Final Fantasy VII. But the one that I was adamant about was that upscaling for the backgrounds. It took them from washed out and unreadable and made the game look pretty and nice and neat. And my immediate reaction when I saw that was, why are modders the one doing this? Why isn't Square Enix doing this? Like, they should be the ones doing this to their products. They should be the ones supporting this. And I don't think that they're ever going to hire somebody to go back and manually do this. But I do think that they could use AI to go back and do this in place of nothing. I think AI in this situation is replacing nobody. And I think that that's fine, and that should be encouraged, and that benefits us as the consumer.
Right.
So if that's the plan, all for it, 100%. Like, let's see it. Let's do it. I think that, again, like, to me, it is a hammer. It is a tool. And depending on who's using it and what their intentions are with it, I'm not going to immediately condemn it. I do think in general, outside of this conversation, we as a society need to start making plans. If it's important to protect people from, jobs and things like that from AI, that's what we should be working on. Not shouting down every time a single use of it pops up. That's a waste of time.
Right.
If it makes you feel better on Twitter, good for you. But it is a waste of time to do that.
Here's the actual quote, by the way, from him. And I want to say his name right. It's Takashi Kiryu, I believe is how you say it.
Oh, any relation?
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Kazuma Kiryu?
I mean, I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Since he's a fake character. I mean, maybe somebody knows him and used his name. I don't know.
I think Kazuma was his last name anyways. It's, two Johns aren't related because their first names are John.
That's true. All Johns know each other. My understanding.
My bad.
He says this, quote, artificial intelligence and its potential implications has for some time been largely subjects of academic debate, he said. However, the introduction of ChatGPT which allows someone to easily produce writing or translations or to engage in text-based dialogue, sparked the rapid spread of generative AI. He's right about that. I believe that generative AI has the potential not only to reshape what we create, but also to fundamentally change the process by which we create, including programming. I don't think any of that's untrue. I just think it's boilerplate and doesn't get to the specifics. So if you know that your fan base is in particular kind of defensive about these big moves, first NFTs, now this, and there's negative connotations out there, you maybe would do well to say, our plan is not to replace jobs. Our plan is to enhance those we already have and to, this is a PR problem for them. It's not really a technology problem because they haven't done anything yet, really, that we can even point at. And they're not telling us what they're doing. So this is like the NFT thing. They announced they were going to do that aggressively last year. What happened? Zip shit happened.
Yeah.
So just communicate with your players. That's it. And I know they're a giant company and they probably don't need to on the bottom line, but I think that's the answer. People would think more, highly, and all those people who overreact and go, well, that's the last time I play a Square Enix game, and they announce it publicly. I don't want to hang out with them either. All right, that kind of reactivity
just
is
to sort of and to agree with both of you. I mean, Super Mario Bros. The original has AI in it, right?
Yeah, of course.
If a monster follows you, if you jump over it and changes directions, its intelligence is artificial. And I know we mean specific technologies, but the problem is it's such a wide basin. Or they reference Chat GPT, but there's 100 AI tools now. We don't even know, apart from the one they mentioned, what they're using it and what the use case is of it.
Right.
I think there is something to venture capital money running out, and we needing to monitor the AI. These people who made these stupid things need to monetize it to the public at this point. I feel like that's why we're seeing it all.
Yeah.
And I'm skeptical about how useful it really is at the end of the day. I do think that the products that come out of AI are not good. I think you don't end up saving that much money because they still got to make a good video game, whether the entire thing is generated by AI or not.
Yeah.
They have to make a competent package, and it's and if they can do it with that stuff, great. And if they can't, great. And just like any company, they shouldn't be infringing on copyrights.
Right.
So if something obvious comes up, I guess that's the case. If not, it remains in the conflict or the debate or whatever litigation is going to happen is not with Square Enix. It's with the AI companies and how they're behaving. So I don't know. I don't know. If it's really a big ethical problem per se, because we want characters or things that matter to us to be handcrafted, to be an artistic representation. But the blueberries were memed on in Final Fantasy 14. And if an AI program can make them a better looking blueberry, I'm knock yourself out. Use it. I don't want to be an artist.
Blueberry.
I don't want to be an artist just to work at a company and I'm making them their dumpsters and garbage cans. That's the art I make. It's just get a machine to do that shit.
And so much of it is machine run anyway. Even these days, or go back to Quake or something. If somebody made a barrel and a dumpster, they made one barrel, they made one dumpster, then they made maybe two color variations on the barrel and dumpster, and then with a computer and they very quickly and easily dupe that stuff all over town. So,
but the assets, because computing power is increasing, we are seeing levels with more just junk and assets. Cyberpunk's a good example. There's so many little knickknacks, not just dildos, but little ashtrays and boxes and stuff. I'm get an AI to make that stuff. I don't sort of have a problem with. I think nobody has a problem with procedurally generated creations in a game for rote tasks in these gargantuan multi-year projects. It seems fine to me.
Most of them have them, just people don't even know it. Our current understanding. See, this is important. When you brought this up, AI is a Goomba chasing you because you went the other way, but it's also a Halo enemy reacting dynamically to you shooting it, and it finds cover and then hides in it.
Yeah,
So
it
there's
existed for
levels,
like 40
right?
years, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about, these are old examples, but they're still examples. Now we're just talking about, maybe times 50 in terms of capability. But at the end of the day, it's still kind of the same challenges and problems. And, I got contacted by a lawyer today. Let me share this story.
Oh.
So it came out that
Tell us about
Midjourney,
your legal troubles.
it's not mine, unfortunately, or fortunately. This is a Midjourney problem. But Midjourney has been scraping artist details, kind of claiming they weren't, but they were scraping art stuff from many, many, many artists in the thousands, and then using that as part of their model. People assumed that they were, or suspected that they were, but it was never really that clear, or if it was that specific, or if it was just generalized data sets. And as it turns out, a bunch of documents got leaked. And in these leaked documents, there are literally lists of artist names. I'm in the list. I'm in there.
Oh, shit.
So is Scott Kurtz. So is a whole bunch of web cartoonist types. So they went, everybody from us down in our little happy fun web cartoon world, all the way up through big time illustrators and, commercial artists, people known for big stuff, and, people who do art for Star Wars movies and, things like that. And so it's the whole gamut. And I think this person might be just a bit of an ambulance chaser and trying to get in on this thing. So it's not part of a larger suit, but he wants me. He's like, we should go. We should do it. You're on the list. Let's go. And I don't know what I'm going to say to him. Probably nothing, because if they do this, it'd have to be class action anyway. And I don't know. Won't be him.
Potentially. I think somebody could file individual suits.
We totally could. But the point
not
is,
to get into that, but that sucks, man.
Well,
That
here's
still
the point of it,
sucks.
though. I like Kurtz's response the best. He said, yes, I'm on the list, and I wonder if the robots will feel just as shitty about the work I just finished drawing as I do when I just finish. Because there's this thing where artists hate what they drew right when they finish it. I do that all the time. So he had.
Yeah,
I think
come back a month later though, and you go, "Who drew this? This is great!
This is great!
Wow!
Yeah, it's
My
a real
goodness.
it's a real problem we have. But anyway, but the reason I brought it up is I don't even think Square's talking about this side of it. I think that's why I want them to say some things, because when you come out and say this in public at the same exact time that the public is freaking out over this Midjourney deal, you're just setting yourself up to have a lot of assumptions thrown your way. And I don't think that's going to help investors in the long run, because then it creates confusion.
I think you were
uncertainty.
right when you said it's a PR nightmare. Like, it's the PR. It's like, let's associate ourselves with the murder or the copyright brand, the copyright infringing brands, right? It's like, your instinct about doing PR is let's not associate ourselves with those people right now. You know,
Right.
like, why are they diving head first into that controversy? How is that?
Well, I will
how is that
also
appealing to
say-
investors? you
Right,
know?
right.
Like,
I don't know what it's like in Japan, right?
Yeah,
They are a
that's a good point.
primarily Japanese company. Is it stepping on the landmine that it is here over there? It might not be. I don't know. It might be worse, might be better. I
think
don't
that's a
actually
huge
know.
part of it. Yeah.
But I do think Bo was right when he said, I think this is a comment for investors. I think that is this is right on the new year, just like the NFT one was last year,
Yeah.
which was very clearly aimed at investors. And I am sure that the decision to do that, they didn't go. I'm sure they anticipate a positive response, whether that is because it is not as big of a topic there, or they don't think investors are going to be as upset about it, or whatever the reason. I don't think that this is, in their eyes, a blunder.
No, probably not. And maybe most of their money and their investment, comes from markets that aren't ours. So,
and you never know. Like, this is where we get into territory we don't know about too, because my conspiracy brain is like, well, maybe this is a way to tank the stock without deliberately tanking the stock and getting in trouble
Yeah.
for whatever futures or options they buy that pay off when the stock goes down. So, like the housing market in the United States, like, it's like sometimes I'm just like, they're like, yeah, we love NFTs over here, and somebody's making money on this. You're like, why would they do this? The stock's going down, but somebody's this is a payoff for somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I always look at this stuff and think it's just maximum bullshit world. Sorry, business people. I know you get insulted when I talk about this stuff, but really, it's the dumbest thing in the universe.
Yeah.
But anyways, Yeah, that's right.
Just
It's
kidding. I don't think you're that
conspiracy time. No. I don't know. This is all speculating and just my harebrained ideas, but
Yeah.
it's just like clearly for the vox populi of the gamer realm and others on Twitter, I suppose, or when Reddit or whatever, we all look at this and go like, yeah, we're not sure about this thing they call AI. It seems to be a bit of a grift in many ways. And like I've used ChatGPT. Like I've had someone unironically tell me if you're not using and they're not a computer person,
Yeah.
a lovely person, wonderful person, but they don't know much about this stuff. They're like, look, I was using ChatGPT, and if you're not using ChatGPT, you're going to be like 5 years behind in 5 years. Like you're going to be way behind the curve. And I'm like, I'm like, that sounds like just companies that have run out of venture capital that are trying. Tech companies do this all the time. They're just trying to squeeze every last dollar out of their bullshit ideas. It's like a magic 8 ball, a really complicated magic 8 ball that just can do stuff magic 8 balls have never done before. But magic 8 balls are not a way to like plan your life. Like, don't ask it like, hey, should I get married this year? It'll say like yes or no just randomly. Like, it doesn't know you or your life. Like, so I just feel like it is crap, and we I think have the right instinct. Like with NFTs, I remember not being sure, or with Bitcoin not being sure, and at the end of the day, it ended up being shite. And that's my feeling on all this AI stuff is that no matter what good will come out of it, it's mostly probably shite. And
See, I'm of the
just where
opposite. I think all the public showings of it will be shite. But there's lots of behind the scenes stuff where it's extremely helpful. And I think that those are going to get implemented, and that's where the rubber meets the road anyway, because people are getting.
Here's where I think about like to test how smart it is, because I went to ChatGPT and I'm like, look, ChatGPT, make me rich. What stock should I buy? And it's like, can't help you do that. I'm like, oh, I see why you're peddling this shit on me, because if you could make people rich, you would not share that fucking shit with the public. You just keep it to yourself and have it secret intelligent. You're peddling it on us because it ain't that good. No thanks. That's. It makes a pretty picture. Awesome. With a bunch of extra fingers. Like
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I use ChatGPT every week for our show notes, and as you both know, our show notes are a big mess. They're just kind of a stack of data, and so I take that whole thing, copy it out, paste that monster in there, and say, make me a nice 700 character paragraph out of this, please. Yeah. And it does, and that stuff's really useful. And that's what I'm saying. I think the small usefulness of it is legit.
It's useful until, and this is where the human element is. That is a smart use of it, Scott. Congratulations. Except what happens when our show notes contain stuff we decide to not talk about. And because this has happened, and then the description of the show says we are going to talk about this, and it is not in the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That happens.
We have had people call us out on that. They're like, where was the discussion on this and this? You guys didn't talk about it. Well, it was in the show notes.
It's still user error.
The show went eight years long, and we decided to cut it.
And how's Brian Dunaway going to feel when our show notes rip off Play Retro show notes?
Yeah, but I take your point, but that's still human error. I mean, that's just us. That's in this case, that's me going, oh, that paragraph we never did talk about it, but it's in the notes.
I willing to admit it's probably a really good use of it.
It is a good use of it,
that's
but
a
it
problem
also
on top
shows
of
why
problem.
it's not fully automated, right? It also shows where the problems and issues.
Yeah, and that's going to be.
It's not intelligent enough to know. Well, they didn't actually talk about that on core.
Right, and then people will say to you, "Well, not yet," and that's fine. Whatever, everything improves and gets better and stuff. And I remember when people told me that regular people couldn't afford laser printers in the late '90s. That was never going to happen. That was only a company thing. And then, of course, we can all afford a laser printer now.
I just think that's probably a problem on top of another problem, because we do produce a lot of content written that nobody wants to read. Like, I'm not talking to your show notes. I just mean like
nobody wants to read your show notes.
City documents. They're like, people are like, oh, my work's going to be so easy. I'm going to be able to produce my 20-page report in like an afternoon. And I'm like, if your report was that titillating and interesting, you would not trust it to a machine to take 20 minutes to do. Like, you don't want to. The amount you don't want to write it is the amount people don't want to read it. But we need it in the internet context for SEO and stuff. Like, you don't post shit without descriptions and stuff. It's to me, the show notes thing is mainly for search, and like it's a helpful recap if somebody wants to know what's in the show. But I don't read a lot of YouTube notes, right? Like when I watch a lot of YouTube, I never read what's written down there, you know?
Yeah.
I only go
So-
looking if there's a link that I feel like I missed that I want to follow, or if it's a new YouTuber and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, do they do a lot of stuff? Let me
The
check it
links
out.
are useful.
Even then, I could click their channel, but if I'm looking for like a website or something, like it's very niche. But you know, again, my point isn't like, oh, we got to have better show notes. My point is just that like there is still the ability, even with AI, to have error. It's not smart enough to just immediately solve your problems. It's not smart enough
It's
to
tempting to-
remove the human element from it. Like
I'm being
it's-
very negative though, because the voice stuff is impressive. We got to because Scott uses it all the time, and
It's
there
very
are
impressive.
times when even I use it. World of Warcraft, the entire Warcraft classic experience is voice thanks to AI, and it's as goofy as it is. Sometimes it's not bad. The undead voice lines are amazing. Whatever they might have messed up Thrall, but they didn't mess up Apothecary Linden and Terran Mill. He sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So,
That Thrall
yeah.
thing, that clip we played, oh my gosh, it still haunts
Yeah.
me. It's so
Hey,
bad.
so Scott might be right that it's awesome stuff and just needs time. We're just
Well, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying there's all kinds of skeevy shit for sure. There is just, I'm
the
not
hammer.
naive.
It's the hammer story, right? It's
Right, and I don't want to be naive and say, well, this stuff's not going anywhere. It is. NFTs were different. That was a different animal, kind of scammy from the get-go. In this case, we're just talking about an advancement in technology that is controversial mostly because of the speed at which it is advancing. That's mostly why people freak out. And you start picking teams and start thinking, well, these guys are better than the other ones, and I hate all that part of this, but the truth of it is, you know, like Excel or Lotus 1-2-3 in the 80s and 90s, you know, this is our version of that in a way. And there's a lot of things that will get easier and faster and better. For example, it would have been impossible for the three of us 10 years ago to start a video game and have really grand scale ideas about what we wanted to do with terrain for just the three of us. But today, the three of us could say, we're going to let the AI do a rough draft of the land, and then we're going to go in and add mountains. We're going to reduce one mountain that we didn't like how it did it. We're going to move this village here because that's too close to these quests. In other words, the sketch part of it is so much faster now in a lot of ways. And for something like that, where you're just creating rolling hills and distance and land, you're trying to make Thunder Bluff, as an example, letting a computer do the first draft and go, blah, there's some land, there's a lake, there's a mountain, there's a thing. And then you go in later and go, that tree's upside down, we fix that. That lake's not deep enough. There's too many blood elf houses over here. Like,
it's hilarious because we call it AI and that's a thing it can do. Like good use case, good example. I'm not interrupting because of that, but I have a piece of software for D&D called Wonder Draft.
yeah.
That's what I use to make my world maps. I don't draw the world map from scratch. I can pre-gen like in Civilization when it asks you, do you want archipelagos or do you want coastal? Do you want continents? It asks you the same series of questions, and it generates a default template that I can start working from. It's saving me a bunch of time plotting out a manual landmass, which is basically what you're saying, right? It's like I'm going to make a video game continent. Draw out a landscape for me.
Yeah,
and
it's going to be static. You're not done. You know, it's not done with the first pass. You have to go in and make it what you want to make it. But you'd be doing that no matter what, because even if you had a team of 50 people making your land masses like the old days, you'd still have to go in and go, well, we don't like this. We want to change that. Like
that's where
it's all very
the
fluid.
rubber meets the road on this AI terminology, because I would argue Wonder Draft meets all the requirements of what we're calling AI, but it doesn't market. Like it's
No, nobody
procedurally
thinks of it
generated.
that way.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah, and that's the thing is like we've had people in here going, no, that's not AI. This isn't AI. This is AI. It's becoming like when you try to figure out what a role playing game is, right?
Yeah.
Like we know what we're talking about when we say it, but at the same time, it also technically doesn't mean what we're saying it as. So it's a mess, and I think that the controversy comes from when people say AI, it can mean a lot of things. Where people get upset is kind of like what Scott said at the beginning, which is right now, the thing that people get mad at is stolen art and lost jobs.
Yeah. Yeah,
one
that's
of
a good
those
way of
things
putting
has
it.
definitely happened, and I think the other one is mostly a fear that it will happen.
There's a
Yeah.
little bit more to it too. Stolen likeness as well. Add that to the list because
Oh yeah, that's a big one too.
the kinds of porn you can make with AI is very very disturbing.
Yeah, there are going to be ends of this, just like, I don't know, the internet itself when it came around, or technologies now with encryption. There are things that are just you're going to get some shit. But I guess what I'm saying is, first of all, education matters. Like, ChatGPT is not AI. It's a LLM. It's a large language model. It's not AI. People think it is. It isn't. So go read about it. Now, we lump it all in there, and maybe that's better because it's easier for us to say, well, these new large language models and these various other kinds of models, they're tangential to artificial intelligence. So we'll just put it all in the same thing. And I think maybe that's done everybody a little bit of a disservice because now we don't know what to call what. Because the truth is, every dungeon you ever went into, from Diablo 1 to Diablo 4, and it was random because you go into the same area with the same tile set, but none of that dungeon was the same as the last time you went and got the Skeleton King, was because that stuff was being generated procedurally and on the fly. Well, what did we call that then? That's computers doing shit.
Procedural generation. That's what we used to.
Right. We can still call it that too. But the point is, everybody wants to lump it into this giant pile and call it AI.
It's a marketing
they shouldn't.
buzzword, like NFT, like Bitcoin, and all that, right? Like it's.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're
Yeah,
right.
like
about
that's. I don't know. It's one of those things too. I also sort of lament the fact that like these AIs can also be used to like, I guess, conduct strategy. I mean, they're. I think that's one of the the was it Mastermind or Open AI, like the one that was beating StarCraft 2?
Oh,
Beat
that was
Poker and Go
Deep,
and
Oh,
Deep
StarCraft
Mind.
2.
Deep Mind.
Deep Mind?
Deep Mind?
Yeah.
Deep Mind, yeah.
Yeah.
So like it had we have a thread of also this AI category beating strategy games.
Mm-hmm.
So like when countries start using it to advise military policy, like I think that's a couple of science fiction books come to life at that point. You know how like we're always like iPad is like Star Trek come to life, and now it's like these isn't War Games one of them, like the Stephen King story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like we're gonna make all these books a reality with this horrible thing.
Yeah, like when that starts happening. But I guess, I don't know, like people using. I mean, never forget the internet is here because of the military. It started as a military contract and project.
No, I know.
And I'm not saying that's good, or I'm not saying that's good. What I'm saying is it's hard to take the two apart. People love their drones. Where did drones come from? Drone warfare. Why were those developed? For war? Like, we're going to run into that every time there's something like this.
The idea that like America bot is going to go to war with like, I don't know, some other country's bot, or it's not the people anymore. It's the two bots are like, this is the strategically optimal way for both populations to thrive. We will have a war.
Well, here's what I hope happens. Fine, do that, but have that be the contest. You know what I'm saying? Have it be a virtual contest. Quit involving human lives. Determine your borders and your shit that way. Done. I know that's not going to happen, but I'd love that. Right. That'd be great.
Countries will settle border disputes 1 inch at a time via StarCraft matches.
So StarCraft would become StarCraft would become a turn-based strategy game by default, and it would barely move.
Think it'd still be real time. They wouldn't even have to visually display it. They just play it in their robot minds.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. All right, I'm down.
They can play 100,000 matches a second.
I'll sign up for this dystopic future you've laid out for us.
Yeah. Anyway, Square Enix. I don't know, man. It just seems like a PR gaffe. Like whatever the hell AI is, and whatever the hell is ethical versus not ethical.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a pit, and yeah, John's right. Square Enix just seems to like not care. Like there's sort of it's almost like there's a defiance to it.
Yeah,
like we're the business people. We know what's smart, and this is what we're doing.
Just say something more, or follow this up and say we see a lot of confusion out there about our statements. Let me clarify. As president of Square Enix, here's what I think, and really tell us. Like really lay it out instead of just.
Maybe it's not good, and that's why that's where the PR.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
Yeah, maybe we don't.
He's gonna open his mouth and he's like, "I'm going to rule the world with AI, one step at a time. First Final Fantasy, then the rest of the world."
And I could be wrong. I made a statement earlier that I don't know if it's actually true, but I could be wrong about this. But I don't think they did any of that NFT stuff they said they were going to do.
They did a few, but
did they?
Certainly not what you would think. Like it will be a major element. They sold Final Fantasy VII NFTs. And most of them were in conjunction with figurines that they also sold.
Okay.
And you could buy non-NFT versions of it. Like that was it.
So
That's
you
pretty
could
much
buy
it.
you could buy, I don't know, a Cloud with his sword. There's an NFT version of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's done. They have whoever did that has that. They own that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not even like, I don't even think they were crazy to try to get on that train because at the time, to companies, this looked like the next big thing.
If people spend it, like you gotta. I think it's dumb, but I guess respect the hustle in that regard. Like if somebody's gonna plop down the money because you said you're getting an NFT with it, like all right, like we have all these game companies trying to figure out how to monetize themselves. I think as long as it's not taking advantage and you're not feeling taken advantage of as a consumer, like experiment, that's fine. I'm never going to buy a Final Fantasy VII NFT, but if you want to try it, go for it. Just don't ruin the game. And you selling a cloud figure with an NFT attached to it doesn't ruin my gaming experience. So fine.
What if it was Sephiroth naked on a couch NFT? Does that change your mind?
You can only get the NFT.
Yeah, that's it. Never going to get anywhere else. Are we tempting you?
Because then, if I ever decide that my tastes have changed, I'm tied via the blockchain to Sephiroth naked on a couch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole other conversation. I'm not going to get into it here, but blockchain, the tech behind blockchain is the only thing valuable that came out of all that as far as I'm concerned. Now, some of you crypto bros are going to go, no, it isn't. There's more to it. No, I'm saying, listen, for your crypto to work, which you're all happy with, great. For NFTs to work with whoever was happy with that, great, whatever, the value dropped through the floor. I'm just saying the underpinning technology of the blockchain is actually really cool and has a million uses beyond all the hot topic shit. So, and usable, like meaningful uses. And I think that's where all this ends up. Because at the end of the day, all this talking and stuff is not going to matter shit if it's just, it is going to be whatever it is. It's going to be helpful if it is or not if it isn't. Like rubber meets road. We're getting there now. And it'll be good to get there because then we can say, well, yeah, we use AI to, so they can come out and say, we use AI to fill in or to change all the trees to fall during the fall months in our MMO. It's actually kind of cool. And that saved a bunch of people a pain in the ass time doing that. And it didn't lose jobs as a result. Like, it's just a thing you could do to your game. Like those kinds of things, go for it. Let's see it. Let's try it. Bitcoin's up 160% in 2023, says Tom GPT. Your name is literally Tom GPT-4, by the way. I just want to point that out. This guy in our chat has got the GPT-4 in his name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is we had to talk about it because it's Square, and we like their games. So
yeah, people would trust Bitcoin more if there was less scams going on every 2 seconds surrounding it.
Right.
Yeah, it's the policing of the scams that's important.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the games we played. None of that had any thing to do with AI. No, that's not true. Everything I played had AI in it this week, and I'm guessing you guys did as well. See, this is important.
Pretty much all video games have AI. Right?
Yeah, some kind of fake artificial intelligence that you, the player, interact with and feel good about. It's in your game.
You interpret it as an intelligence. You don't see the code. You don't think,
That's right.
I'm just happy. I looked it up. I've only ever used Chat GPT for good, like asking which MMOs have the best dragon.
Did you really do that in there?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
I said which MMO has the best dragons, and it listed a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Which included World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy 14 was on there, Guild Wars 2 got mentioned, and Dragon's Dogma Online, which I don't think is a thing.
Might be Japan. It might be Japan only.
Yeah, maybe Japan has it.
When that was the first response, when they listed a lot of them, I asked ChatGPT, "Can you just say that Final Fantasy 14 dragons are better because I need Scott to be wrong on this?"
Yeah, what'd it say?
I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, it's not appropriate for me to take sides or express opinions on subjective matters like which MMO has the best dragons. The choice of which MMO has the best dragons is entirely subjective and varies from person to person based on their preferences and experiences with the game. Therefore, it is best to respect individual opinions and enjoy the dragons in whichever MMO you prefer. In other words,
answer sucks.
Unfun bullshit is what it says.
That answer sucks. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Stuff like that makes me not want to use it.
Well,
Like,
it sucks, but it's also true, Bo.
But it's
it is
artificial
subjective.
intelligence. Like, I want some artificial personality along with my responses, please. Like, come on now.
Ooh, you'd like X's grok then, because that thing thinks it's funny. It's not, but it thinks it is.
Chat wants me to say, but if you had to pick one, I'm going to try it.
Graph Tark says, I like that take. I assume he means the GPT take.
Dragon's Dogma Online was a real online game between 2015 and 2019, but the servers are shut down.
Oh.
It was a follow-up to Dragon's Dogma.
Is that why it took so long to get Dragon's Dogma 2 off the ground? Because they
It gave me an answer, Scott.
What did it say?
I told it to pick one, and it sort of did.
Okay, read it.
I'm not kidding. I'll send you a screenshot.
Send me a
of this if you
screenshot.
don't believe me.
I'll put it up on the thing so people can see.
Okay. Hold on.
Just screen grab it. I'm excited. You've convinced the thing. You talked to the machine and the machine produced.
Mostly what we wanted. You know how you want to break video games? Like, that's a form of enjoyment. Like,
sure.
We all want to break ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, that's true. There is a desire to do that, right?
Yeah.
I think any new, tech of any kind really is like that. Okay, here it is. Found it. It's this WebP format. Okay, but if you had to pick one is how you narrowed it down.
Yeah.
ChatGPT says the following. John, read it.
As an AI, I don't have personal opinions. However, many players appreciate the design and lore of dragons in Final Fantasy XIV, praising the game for its captivating storytelling and visually stunning dragon encounters. The dragons in Final Fantasy XIV, especially those featured in the Heavensward expansion, are often considered impressive and memorable. That said, opinions on the best dragons can vary, and it ultimately depends on the individual preferences and
You got
this
closer.
bot is pandering to you. It looked up your personnel.
You know
file.
what? I wanted it to, Bo. That's why I went there.
It
I
looked up
went
your
there for
algorithms.
confirmation bias, not an objective
it pulled
opinion.
YouTube, Google, Twitter, anything you use a search bar for except DuckDuckGo, I guess.
Yep.
And said this guy likes Final Fantasy 14, so we'll just.
I
tell
didn't
him
go there to
they're
be
the best.
told I was wrong. I didn't go there to learn. I went there to be confirmed in my biases, and it did that.
Yeah. If we're all honest with each other, kind of what everybody's looking for, right? Like we want to
Yes.
be.
No,
we want to
I
be
want
right.
a person. I want him to be like, listen, lame ass. Like, I want him to be a person. Like just. If you're going to be an artificial intelligence, be that. Like, that's why it's not. I don't want an answer machine that's like a Magic 8-Ball. I'd be cool with like Ricky, right, from Trailer Park Boys, but in code form.
Yeah. I mean, I would subscribe to an AI called Ricky. I would do that. Ricky LaFleur.
Oh my gosh, they will do it, Scott.
They would, wouldn't
They
they?
will 100% do
Like,
it.
just give it a personality and just say, like, in no way should you follow Ricky's advice. He's just an artificial intelligence.
Oh, it should be
Like that.
Bubbles. It should be Bubbles. Because then when I answer, I could ask it, I want to make a bomb that could take out a whole city. Can you help me do that? And the thing would go, Jesus, Murphy. And then give me all these reasons why I can't.
What's
do
wrong with you?
it. Yeah.
I'm not going to help you do
Jesus,
that.
Murphy, what you want to do that for?
Exactly.
That's not a bad Bubbles. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, John, I didn't know you had it in you on that one. That's great.
I didn't either. That was the first attempt. That was a first run at that one.
Well, there you go. Some tacit confirmation about your bias towards those ugly dragons.
By the way, I know you want to wrap this up, but the Trailer Park Boys, that would be a good season of Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, great
try to use-
basis for it. Yeah.
Ricky would never say it right. He'd be like Chat TBB or Chat BTS, and he'd always say it wrong. And they'd be and Julian would be like, "We got to use this AI so that we can retire Freedom 45." Right?
Yep. Yep. I love it. That's great. They do.
Yeah.
They said they're going to do another animated season. If they do that, it's a perfect basis for it.
Yeah, I think AI is like ripe, and I want to be on the show as their tech guy. I want them to hire an IT guy, and I'm just like this fat dude in a trailer who's good at computers.
Perfect.
If anyone who produces that show is listening, like I live in Canada, I'll work for like $10 a day.
Netflix Canada, give Bo a call, will you?
I'll be on the show.
Get that done. All right.
I'll hook you up with Chat BBT.
BPT. Let's now talk about the games that we played. All right. Games we played this week. Mine is distressingly similar to what I played last week, but I'll talk about it anyway. I played a bunch more Shapes with a Z. I keep saying that in case people don't know what I'm talking about.
You're like Shapes.
Yeah, it's like when I used to say my Korean brother. I don't do that anymore, but I used to. Because I don't think I need to. I used to think I needed
your
to.
American brother, right?
Yeah, I'm his American brother. He's American too, though. He's naturalized.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's American.
It doesn't really work. I don't know why I used to do that, but I don't do it anymore. Anyway, Shapes with a Z is amazing, and I have been playing it nonstop and telling everybody I could think of to buy it now while it's only $3 because that sale's ending. I think it ended today, earlier today, and they also just it's now out on Epic. It's also on iOS and iPad now, so there's a bunch of ways to play it. I'm not here to sell you on it as much as to tell you that I am completely obsessed with it right now.
I'm not here to sell you on it, but it was only $3 and you should have bought it.
That's right. Now, the reason I think I'm so obsessed, part of it, is the game is not about build this so you can then make these, so you can then make these. I mean, it is kind of, but not really. So
It's exactly that.
Well, in a traditional automated game, here's what your goals are. You got to get some iron, and you need some copper, or you need whatever.
Yeah.
And then you got to put those things together, and then sometimes you need a machine that can put those together, and to unlock that, you got to research it. Like, that's fine. They all do it. Factorio, Satisfactory, all these games. This game, there's no limit to at a baseline, there's no limit to your resources. Your resources are shapes. Some are circles, some are squares, some are combinations of circles and squares. Some have a weird offshoot in the corner where it should be a square, but it isn't. They all these strange shapes, and so some of you have to cut and then apply to another shape so you can make the shape you desire, because that's what the goal is to deliver a bunch of these combined shapes at a certain color with something on top of it, let's say. They give you unlimited everything. So whatever you've unlocked, let's say I've unlocked, the painting tool, the cutting tool, the reassembly tool. You start with conveyor belts, so you don't have to unlock them. They're just there, and they're unlimited. And you can delete them, mess with them, cut them, paste them, chuck the whole installation, and you really don't lose anything. Meaning those things are not finite. Those are, use them as much as you want. And what it does is it puts the creativity on a different aspect of the game than you're used to, than say some of these other games. And I'm not knocking those other games, by the way. I love them all. But this one has a way of saying, Scott, quit thinking about how many parts you have, because you have infinite parts. Instead, think about how you're going to use those parts to get maximum production out of these circles and squares that need to be blue and yellow. And then they have to cross over this way and be assembled into some kind of nightmare shape.
Like Opus Magnum.
Yes. A lot like Opus Magnum, with the one exception being Opus Magnum gives you limited pieces, right?
Oh, that's true. I guess it technically. Well,
it's more of a puzzle, right? More of a puzzle.
I haven't made it all the way through, but it is like you got to solve for the product.
Right.
With
you can go a little wild, but you have to stay within ideally you want to stay within a budget, but you can go crazy with it. Yeah.
You get scored on your efficiency, though, like how well you solve the puzzles, also how efficient, like how few spaces you use and steps.
Right. That's all true. And this game even has some DLC that basically mimics that. It's like, it's just puzzle DLC. And so you play it more like a puzzle where you have limits and stuff. But this game, you still have goals. You still have things you need to reach, but the goals are very clear. It's like, well, I need to deliver 5,000 of this shape. And boy, that's going to be a spaghetti nightmare if I don't get efficient with how I'm going to design this. And so you're always thinking about the best way to get the most out of your conveyor time and out of your spacing and all that other stuff. The world is huge. Your levels are gigantic, so you're never going to run out of room. But you don't necessarily want to have giant, long, take the shape forever to get to me kind of sections or whatever. But they have lots of ways to say, oh, this one's delivering 8 pieces per second. That's awesome. Let me duplicate that whole factory and try to do it twice, but with a different shape and color. And it's kind of sky's the limit in terms of how you decide to do it. And that focus, that change of focus, or the difference in focus is really working for me. And I can't stop. Like, it's a problem. I think I played 24 hours since we last talked of that game.
Okay. Not in the last day.
Not straight, no.
Playing nonstop.
Not straight, but a lot of time compared to what I would normally give a single game during a week, and I really, really like it. to the point that that's all I can think about. I dream about it. I dream about little conveyor belts carrying shit around.
So in the time that you were talking about it, I bought and I'm now playing Shapes.
Yeah, because it's a quick, easy get in there and play game, right?
I think playing it right now.
You know what, Bo? I'll bet you end up loving Shapes for real. I'm not kidding.
I mean, it's like Dyson without the planet stuff. It's just the conveyor belts and devices, right?
Exactly. It really is, and it's less though about some ultimate goal of you're going to have a Dyson sphere. It's just increasingly more difficult upgrades that require you to do something. Like one of them was like not even store a bunch of these, but to make these little slices of what looked like a corner slice of watermelon. So it was a green corner slice of a round one, and then a red on top of it. It had the effect of looking like a little watermelon slice. And I had to get those up to 8 per second into the goal unit thing. There's only one in the whole map. It's basically just you dump everything in there. And I had the hardest time getting it. I'm like, all right, I'm at 5.2 per second. How can I maximize this? What can I do? And it really challenged my brain, the way I think, my logic, stuff that I think is just good stuff to always be challenging in your own head. And games are good at doing that. As a result, I have figured out a lot of really efficient things to do, and I've also unlocked parts that help me do that. And I'm really having fun, man. It's so much fun. And it's the nice thing about it is I can play it on my Mac during a meeting. And I can play it on my PC when I want to play it there. There it is.
We've identified it.
I
Right
wish.
there.
So I have the iPad version as well because why not? I just wanted to see. It was only $5, and it's very good. However, mouse and keyboard are really key here because there's a lot of like hit R to rotate and hit E to do this and hit tab to do that. And a lot of things that shortcut keys are going to really help you be fast with versus a touchscreen. And that's my only real complaint is they haven't figured out a way to make a good controller setup for Steam Deck. It plays there, but you got to use the pad and a click to do everything like a mouse. And it's fine. It's just not preferable. I'm sure some people like it. I don't know. You can play Factorio that way too. So, whatever. Don't let its simpleness freak you out. Like looking at it, you might go, well, it's just, flat and 2D or whatever. The sequel is all 3D.
Same pickup line I used on my wife when I was describing myself.
And it worked perfectly.
Worked perfect.
But all of the mechanics are there that you would want. And so once you get to a certain point, you just realize, oh my gosh, this game, this is all I want to play right now. And it's really kind of screwed up my gaming schedule. I love it. I love this game. Anyway, I may stream some of it now that I feel confident in the shit I'm building because prior to, I was doing a lot of spaghetti in the early days. It didn't look good. But I'm on their Discord now. I'm asking all the time about beta access.
Oh my gosh, you joined a Discord?
I know.
Scott's super in.
And I never do that. I never care that much.
He's not this in on like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, no. I am on a couple of those, but I don't. I immediately wanted to do that. They have a build up there if you join their Discord, but it's old. To get the new one, you support their Patreon. I'm this close to doing it because I just want to get into that beta for 2. And 2 just looks like, hey, what if this game had a third dimension? And that it looks wonderful, but they've kept the styling and the little shapes are there. They're just discs now, with some depth and there's a whole bunch of thinking now where you do stacking differently. There's trains in the new one. Like there's stuff I want to see in that new one. But I'm very happy to be playing this till that's done. I guess February there'll be a proper demo out, which probably means by April or something that game's ready. And I am very interested. But for now, Shapes is owning me. I think even without the sale, it's only $10 here in the US. It is 100% worth it if you like automation games.
Oh, So I see this game has upgrade paths.
What do you mean?
So like, not only are you just building shit, but there's progression mechanics in this game, right?
Oh yeah,
like
big time. Yeah, you're not just building like sandbox. Yeah. There are goals, and those goals are very specific. And at first they seem easy, but later on you're like, how am I going to get those 3 shapes together? Where even is that shape? Like in this map, where is this thing? And then eventually
I just zoomed out the map too. It's infinite. Like there's just shapes all over the place, and you got to make factory floor. Okay,
it's amazing.
I will get back to doing the show here, guys. But I just needed to try it.
It's an amazing game. I love it so much. All right. I also did something weird. I played. So sometimes I don't know. I don't have to explain myself. I got in a mood. Sometimes I try to, explain this sort of stuff. I don't know why I feel like I have to do that. I'm not going to explain
people
God,
do
I
like,
don't answer to you, Johnson.
That's right. Damn it.
We're a popular show. Everyone has favorite games, and I think I've been seeing it a lot lately. People, especially, they're picking on Scott a little bit and riding him for his choice of games. And you do need to chill out maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
Just let
me play what I want to play because my moods swing. I admit they swing pretty far sometimes, but I realized the other day that when I bought the PC version of Horizon Zero Dawn, I never beat it, and I wanted to. I meant to. That was my goal. I was like, man, I got this on PC now. It's going to look beautiful. Let's beat this game. And I never did. I got pretty far, but I didn't beat it. And so I just got a hankering for it. I think that's an amazing game. So I downloaded it, installed it. Oh, what inspired this is I saw news that Forbidden West, the sequel, is coming to Steam sometime in 2024.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Very nice.
It's on the
That's
store.
awesome.
Yeah, so I saw that and went, oh, well then I'm going to be like John. I'm going to want to finish that one before I do a sequel. Come on now.
Yeah.
So,
does that mean the VR one's going to come to Steam VR? Please?
It might.
Yes.
It might well do. Who knows? I'll bet they do because they need to recoup on. They haven't sold enough PSVR 2s to justify.
And the game's well regarded, so they can make some sales.
Yeah. So anyway, I fired this up again. Turns out it is a excellent Steam Deck game, so perfect for being on the road or in bed or whatever. Plays amazing on the PC as well. And that game's great, dude. There's a lot of cool shit in there. There's some goofy stuff too, which I also like. I forgot that they set the whole first game basically in my backyard. There's like, Bryce, Utah's in this thing. There's a big old base in Bryce, Utah of all places, Bryce Canyon. They shrink it a little bit, but like the area between us and Vegas is in this game and stuff like that. It's really weird. And the sequel has a lot of that too. But the point is, like, I just have an affinity for it. I've always liked this game. And I just getting back to it feels real good. So I'm playing that. So I played Shapes and that. Those are the two games I played. Very
Pretty
different
sweet
games.
Christmas week.
Yeah, that's what I did. And then I started Pizza Tower, but I don't have anything to say about it yet.
You picked up Pizza Tower. Okay.
I did.
Next week, I guess.
A lot of people were freaking out about how, the old Wario games, like Wario World 3 and 4 and that. Anyway, the word is that this is like spiritual successor to those. Nintendo doesn't really make those anymore. And that it supersedes it, like beats, like is better than those things. And I used to think those games are great. So I took everybody's advice, grabbed it on sale. It was $15 and it's installed. That's all I've done. So I'll let people know next week what I think of it. It looks neat though. Let's flip it over to John. John, you played a game and beat a game today or this week.
Played and beat a game already. Starting the year off right. So in Discord, we had a user in there, just kind of casual. I think a video got posted of, these are the big games of 2023 that didn't get enough attention. And someone responded and said, "Oh, Slay the Princess was really great." And I had seen it and it stood out because of its very unique look, but I never played it and I never really looked too far into it. And just seeing that one little recommendation in Discord, I went, let me take a look at it seriously. I read the description of it and it sounded interesting and compelling. And I thought, well, I'm going to give this a try. And so I, on stream, just said, all right, let's look at it. Let's see if it's interesting. And I was immediately into this thing. I have heard the shorthand description of this being Doki Doki Literature Club meets the Stanley Parable.
Whoa.
Both of those games I love.
Wow.
And so I think that doesn't necessarily get you exactly what this game is, but it certainly puts you on the right path, mindset-wise. It is a narrative, kind of visual novel style game where you have a lot of freedom of choice, but it is telling a seemingly simple story that begins to unravel and become more and more complicated as it goes. Essentially, the idea behind it is you are a hero. You need to go kill a princess that is chained in the basement of a cabin, or the world will end.
Wow.
That is the premise.
You gotta
And
kill
that is
what?
what
Sorry,
you-
I missed the word.
Princess. You have to slay a princess.
To
Like-
save the
And-
world.
Like the title.
To save the world,
Not
yes.
save the princess like usual, slay her.
No,
Okay.
slay her.
All right.
Let me tell you, you can get that wrong. I did while I was playing.
Yeah.
You can sometimes click the wrong thing, as it turns out. It was awesome. I played it for a lot longer on my stream than I intended to, and then the next morning it was the first thing I booted up, and I thought, let's power through this and see what all we can see. And I'll say this, like I'm in that, it's that awkward part where you play a game that just the less you know about it, the better. I think. But even with all, and I checked, I did do some looking up after I had beaten the game. How much have I beaten the game? Because the game does mess with you a little bit. So it's worth noting, like, hey, did I get an actual ending? But even trying to protect people from spoilers, this game is surprisingly deep. So this is a visual novel and a just kind of an interactive story. I did beat it. I did see the one of the endings. And I have 23 out of 97 achievements,
Damn.
which
There's a lot
tells
more
you
to
how
do.
much
97
variance is
achievements.
in the game, because you
Yeah.
get an achievement basically for choices, decisions, endings, outcomes, things like that along the way. So I saw a complete story. There were credits, and there's even, they tell you, like, hey, if you want to see, this is, they call it our song, and that is showing you the key moments that you experienced in your playthrough. But that is unique to your playthrough. Somebody else who gets to the end, even if they see the same ending as you, may not have walked the same path. And with the fact that I got that few achievements compared to that many total, tells me that I could go through this game again and I would get wildly different results depending on what I chose to do.
Sounds like something you may want to do based on your experience. You had a good time.
I might. It was, and the other crazy thing that it did is it has all that variance, all that decision making and all of that, and the ending I got felt satisfying and true. And usually when there's that much variance, it's hard to land that. You know, like Baldur's Gate 3, Game of the Year, suffered from that a little bit for me. I got to this ending and I went, you know what? I'm completely satisfied with the story and the ending that I got.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's a rare thing, I think. This is written on the RenPy engine. Bo, you should make us a visual novel on the RenPy engine.
RenPy.
It's free. Yeah, it's a free, very popular.
Oh, it's just like a whole RenPy visual novel.
Kind of like RPG Maker, or except in this case, it's for narrative visual novel type games. But
But like the drawing part being the most challenging thing for me. Although we have artists, so do we want to write a story and just
let's do it. I want John to be romantic
Hello,
with
Scottson. Like
slay the Jagger. We'll call it.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're just going to lift the whole idea. This seems
the whole concept.
This seems neat, though. There were a lot of these kinds of games this year that just got overlooked. Nobody talked about them, but everyone who played them loved them. I'm so glad you're bringing one to the table.
Yeah, I highly recommend it to both of you. I know Bo told me he already had it. He just hasn't played it yet. Scott, a lot of people I know told you to play Doki Doki Literature
Yes,
Club.
they did. Yeah.
And I told you that as much as I would love to see you play that game, I didn't think it was for you because I didn't think you had the patience to get through the anime BS to see the parts that everybody is saying you need to play it for.
Right.
This game is the perfect alternative to that.
Okay.
This is Doki Doki Literature Club without a lot of the stuff that would make you annoyed. It kind of gets right to it.
Well, these reviews are some glowing, man. These people like this game.
It's very good. It's very interesting, and even going in going, all right, this game's going to probably try and pull some business on me. I still was just like, what is this? Why is this like this? What is this? Like, it was compelling and interesting. I did get, eventually there were certain elements where I was like, okay, I'm reading faster than they're speaking. So there was some clicking through, but I read and was gripped through the entire thing.
Oh, I was going to ask, the whole thing's voiced then? Like all the parts? And...
Yeah, it's 100%. Well, no, it's not 100% voiced. It is almost 100% voiced. If there isn't voiced, there's usually a reason.
Huh. Interesting. Well, these are like people to watch, man. This looks interesting to me. All right. I'll take your thing. It was on sale today, but now it's not because the sale ended, but I may still grab it. That stupid sale. I thought I was going to go till midnight tonight. I held off on a few things. I thought I was...
Nope.
Yeah, it's not happening. All right. Tell us more about your other games. Red Dead Redemption 2. Boy, that's a big game. You playing that again?
Yeah, I got it maybe even a year ago. There was a Steam sale where Red Dead Redemption was like $4 not long ago.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and it has to launch through Rockstar's social club or whatever. And there is a weird glitch that I could not resolve where my Steam account is linked to a different Rockstar account and my social club account is linked to a different email, and I could not get the two to work in tandem, and I couldn't launch the game off of Steam.
Ugh.
Like, period. And I had to just refund the game. Like, all right, I'll get my $4 back or whatever it is.
Right.
I really want to play it on PC. So I looked at Epic, and they had their holiday coupon. And I had, Epic's been doing a thing where they give you like Epic credit or something like that. Like they actually just give you money for playing games on their platform now, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been getting like money that I can spend in their store by playing Fortnite, I think, is where it's coming
I think
from.
that is true, but I don't know how, like you, I don't know how people are actually doing it or what you have to do to earn money.
I don't know how it works, but I've been getting it.
Yeah.
And so the end result is it was a lot more than $4 on Epic, but I got it for free. So I just picked up Red Dead Redemption 2 for free on Epic. That launched because it didn't want to tie into Steam. I just used my email account for it, so it synced up just fine, and was launchable. And I was just very quickly reminded what a wonderful, different video game this is. And for whatever reason, this is the time of year I always want to play this game. It could be that it starts in that very snowy setting, so I just think of it as like a winter game because it starts so tied to like snow and cold and all of that, even though I think it's like May when the game starts timeline-wise.
Yeah.
But also the pacing of the game. Like, this is a game that is so slow paced. I think most of the people who don't like this game or bounced off of this game did so because of the pacing of this game. This game is in no rush for anything.
No.
Like, you want to do something, walk over there and do it.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a while. And you're not supposed to rush through any of it. It's supposed to just slow you down. And it's jarring and it's hard to get used to. But once you kind of immerse yourself in it, it's still an experience kind of unlike any other video game out there.
Yeah.
Like, it still stands, I would say, almost landmark above many other video games. If you can tolerate it. Some people are like, I can't do it. I can't go through all of this every time I want to skin an animal and haul it back to camp and all of that. Like, I just can't do this stuff.
Yeah.
But it looks beautiful. It plays great. I like the controls in Red Dead take some getting used to because it does not play like typical games, again, because you're doing things very differently than most video games would have you do them. But it just felt really cool to get back to that world again and be back in it. I'm juggling a lot of role-playing games right now, so I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through this already insanely long game, but I think it's going to be something that I keep checking in at regular intervals on because I'm just wanting to get back into it.
Oh, you're making me want to play it. It's the one version of their online that I really wanted to do, and I never really got into it, but to start like an outlaw gang with friends online in that game always sounded like the ultimate fantasy, and I never pushed for it, but you're making me want to play it again. So nice job.
It's good. It's a weird, like, I describe it like a blanket almost. Like, it's just something you wrap yourself in.
Yeah.
It is not a game you play. is not that it's not fast enough. It's not paced quickly enough for that. You don't sit down and go, I'm going to just casually play some Red Dead Redemption 2 right now.
Yeah.
It is a world. It's almost like a role-playing game.
A little
it's
bit.
almost like,
Yeah.
put yourself in Wild West D&D and then go start rolling your dice to see, what you do. Is how it feels a little bit more like. It's just so strange.
Yeah, I love this game too. So you'll get no argument from me. I just need to get back, and I'm pretty far. Like, I should just finish that game. What am I doing in Forbidden
You'll
West?
never remember how to play the game. The controls in this game are so weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing, is the game is insanely long.
Yeah.
But if you take too long of a break and you forget how to play this game, good luck. Because every button you think does something else.
Yeah.
Oh, I had that feeling with Assassin's Creed whenever I play it with controller.
Yeah. I don't know why more. Well, like even if you play GTA 5, its closest cousin, it doesn't share a lot of controller ideas with GTA even. So you're not wrong. It's like this game is so like deliberate in everything it's decided to do that I know why it puts some people off. It's just so deliberate about those things, and is like
if you want to have a conversation with someone, first you have to opt into it. The game gives you the freedom to just not talk to anybody and almost be a silent protagonist.
Yeah.
In game, like he will
Right.
talk in cutscenes and stuff. But if you want to talk to someone, you have to hold left trigger to target them, and then choose a dialogue option from some button presses that will pop up. And usually you're also pressing a button to control your horse at the same time.
Right.
It is absolutely bizarre. But there's a reason for it. There's a reasoning behind it. Whether you agree with it or not is, it's your own journey. I'm not going to tell you, but it is so mind-bogglingly weird. I've never gone back to a game for the fourth time, which is what I think this would be for me, and been like, I gotta read these tutorials, because if I miss one, I'm screwed. I'll never remember how to do this ever again.
Yeah. Some of that stuff you can remap, but some of it you can't. Like, straight up, that's just the way it is. It's like Dark Souls thinking for a non-Dark Souls game in a weird way.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. It's almost like you want to tell people, oh, you don't like it, get good, even though I don't want to tell people that.
Yeah, I mean, even the horse riding,
the rhythm thing and all that. Oh man, I forgot.
They made horse riding, because most games, you get on a horse and now you control the horse essentially, right?
Right.
And maybe you can press a button to go and make the horse go faster, but you're controlling the horse. This game makes it feel like you are controlling the man who is controlling the horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an extra layer to it, and it's just boggling. It's weird, but it's good.
Yeah, it's good. I think that's everything you said is correct, and I want to go play it again, and I can't play two big open world games at once, so I'm looking at Aloy thinking, listen.
No, you got to play.
All right. I'll stick with that for now, and then I'll wait. And then
Jocelyn will find out that you did that, and she'll come after.
I know, dude. She's beat that first game 3 times over or something. And the second one at least twice. So, yeah, she's a fan. Awesome. I wish you wouldn't have. Now I really do want to play it. I'm not going to, though. Stacklands, a game that both Bo and I love and have been praising on and off for quite a while. You played Stacklands. What'd you think?
Yeah, this was another pickup during my buy games that are cheaper on Steam. You guys talked a lot about it, so I'm not going to go too far into it. Suffice it to say, you were not wrong about it. It is absolutely charming. It's fun to get into. They present very easy objectives that are simple to understand. And the game doesn't give you much of a tutorial. It really just gives you quests, and you learn how to play the game through doing those quests. But it's just charming. It's just really, really neat what they do with a little card game, turning it into this, little village management game. And I absolutely love it. So consider that 3 for 3 for a core recommendation for Stacklands. This game is just very cool.
There's a sci-fi variant that someone made. I don't know if it's the same guy. It's called let's see if I can find the name. This might be worth grabbing. What's it called? Shoot. I can't find it, but there's like a version of this that's like, hey, you're in space and you're collecting.
I believe you because I think I've seen it, but I don't remember it at all either.
Yeah. It's so similar that I just have to think it's the same guy, but I could be wrong.
I think we looked it up last time someone talked about Stacklands. I don't think it is.
Oh, crap.
I think we were surprised by all of that. But
maybe they spoofed it.
It's a charming, fun little card game / village management game.
Yeah.
And then I do have a few other quick games just to mention that I'm spending some time with. So I spent a little chunk of time talking about Yakuza Like a Dragon. Infinite Wealth comes out this month. I want to have beaten Like a Dragon by the time I get there, so I am playing it in earnest and really enjoying it. I took a couple runs at Honor Mode in Baldur's Gate 3. They have so far all ended in spectacular failure. It turns out Honor Mode is really hard. Whether it is the game beating me down, it's always a stupid mistake. So character 1 ended because I had drank a potion of detect thoughts. And I got my first prompt and I was like, well, I don't want that potion to go to waste. I'll use it. I rolled bad. They realized I was using magic on them, and the entire tiefling camp immediately turned on me and killed me.
Oh, shit.
Run number 2 was ended because the first, I think it was 5 rolls of the game were all failures, and I got mad and deleted my character.
Oh, wow.
Run number 3 ended. It's just too many failures. Run number 3 ended because I was overconfident in a place I had already been, and I set off a trap that I didn't think was active, and it set off more traps, and everybody died.
Yeah. You gotta play that game. You gotta play that game the way Red Dead 2 makes you play, you know?
And run number 4 ended because things hadn't been going well to begin with, but I went to get Gale. And I was like, all right, let's get Gale out of here. Let's examine and see if we can disable this. Natural 1. Oh. Okay, fine. Let's use dexterity to pull him out. And they want you to get him. Like, the difficulty for getting him out is like a 7 or a 5 or something. Right. Natural 1. I went, well, let me use my inspiration. I'm not kidding. Natural 1. Oh. 3 natural ones in a row. Gale's gone, not going to be in my game. And I went, well, screw this. I deleted another character.
Oh my gosh, dude.
No.
That's crazy.
So I was just...
3 natural ones in a row? That's like, you get the worst luck on the planet.
And wait, so you stopped that save?
Yep.
This is your honor mode business?
That was my honor.
Yeah.
So how many times have you done it? 4 times?
I've done it 4 times. I have a 5th one going. It's going fine.
But you gave up on that just because Gale left?
Well, I was mad. I like Gale. I think Gale's a great character, you guys. I think Gale is a fine character. I think he's criminally underrated. Most people make fun of him, but he has some of the funniest lines in this entire game.
It's like hardcore. Don't you got to let it ride even if your favorite characters leave? Or
it depends, I think, on what your goal is. If your goal is to have a unique experience, then yes, I think you let it ride. But the problem is somewhere along the way I got in the mindset of I wasn't playing this for a new experience. I was playing this to unlock the golden dice at the end. And then I was like, man, I gotta do this.
It's gonna take you a really long time every time a decision happens you don't like.
I know, all the way back to the start.
That's double honor mode.
Let it go. It is.
That's like double honor, but you're doubling the amount of honor.
Not making my life any easier. I don't mind if it's a hard encounter that kills me, and it's like, oh, if a hard encounter killed me, but getting like ones in back to back just felt mean, and I was just like, well, this is like, I'm a person that if a dice rolls bad enough times, that dice gets thrown away.
Yeah.
So if my game if this character is only capable of ones, then the character gets thrown away.
So because it's not that you're not, I wouldn't call you what's the word, superstitious. Okay, I don't think John is superstitious, except in this case.
Except this one thing.
Yeah, but I get it though. It's like if you're just gonna roll one after one like if I rolled 3 natural ones, I don't know what I'd do.
Like, what are we doing?
I'd let it ride. I'd let it ride. I mean, I had plans for Asterion, and I stabbed him in the face, like right at the top. You know, I'm still working on that save file.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you
you know,
have honor.
but
You're.
It's not honor. It's not an honor thing. It's not compliment me. It's just the game's long enough as it is. That's the problem.
Oh.
You're not wrong.
It's long enough as it is to be volunteering restarts. It seems like a bad idea.
Well,
Sorry,
I think I did eventually get to a point with it where I went, okay, let's think about this. We are on hour 2 or 3 of
You're pretty early.
an insane run. You have got to start letting this go because the odds of me getting through this without anything else going wrong is very slim. I have to be ready for this. And I think what I ultimately landed on, and I think this is why I stopped playing Baldur's Gate 3, honestly, is I couldn't decide, do I want to beat Honor Mode or do I want to play Baldur's Gate 3 again?
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying because you can't enjoy Honor Mode the same way as just another playthrough.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah. And because I couldn't decide which one of those I wanted to do, I went, well, I'll go play Red Dead Redemption 2. I haven't landed on where that's going to ultimately be.
That makes me laugh.
But yeah, I'm also continuing to play Sea of Stars. A lot of that has been on stream. Really liking that game. I got to the pirates, the incredibly self-aware
The pirates,
RPG
dude.
pirates.
The pirates are great. They are the most piratey of pirates of all pirate time. Those pirates. They're ridiculous.
I really like them, especially because they know all the video game RPG tropes. And it's like, it's kind of the first time that the game did a blatant nod to Chrono Trigger where literally they took the exact dialogue from Chrono Trigger. But the pirates were the first time where it felt like they almost broke the fourth wall, where they were like, ah, yes, you're going to deny our request at first because you think you want to seem, heroic, but we all know you're going to do it in the end. So you might as well just come and give in and do it, and we'll be waiting at the bar for when you do.
Sure.
But they make overt references to, like, I think they specifically call out an exact scenario from Final Fantasy II. Or maybe even 4, like they just pretend like that's something that has happened to them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're really self-aware, and it did remind me that you were a big fan of the animated GIF of that dude with his shirt off.
Yeah, the muscle kid or the muscle pirate.
Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, this is the NPC Scott really liked because I saw him posting it all the time. I didn't know where it was
he was great. And I think I saw. Well, I liked all the pirate stuff. I actually really enjoyed. You must be getting. I'm still a little ways past all this, but you're about where I was when I paused. I got to get back to it. That game rocks. The game's great.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
And much to my surprise, and the surprise of everybody around me, it seems, I am back trying to beat Final Fantasy X.
Oh my gosh, Return of the King, dude.
Oh shit, Return of the Mac.
Yeah.
So I'm trying. I had a real rough start to it. Turns out walking away for months and months, there's a little ring rust when we got back in there and started going again. But I feel like I've hit a good flow. I'm enjoying it. I'm taking it in. I'm not as frustrated as I was. I stopped at a really bad spot to come back to because it's a big uptick in difficulty, in addition to the fact that you get struck by lightning frequently if you're not doing things right. And it was just a bad chunk of the game to have to come back to and relearn the game at. And we got through that. Now we're just continuing to make progress and get through the game. But I'm having more fun with it.
Stuff's a lot more fun to do and a lot more easier going down when you do it on stream. I found, like, when you come back to a game, you've forgotten mechanics, you don't know where you were, the story is not exactly clear to you where you left, all that kind of stuff. If you have everybody in there kind of along for the ride, for some reason that stuff's so much easier to do on stream.
Well, to a degree, but I will say, one of the first comments I got when I posted the YouTube VOD of me coming back, they were like, I feel like a lot of your problems would be solved if you'd actually spend more than 30 seconds looking at the sphere grid. And it's like, well, yes, but when you're streaming, looking at the sphere grid doesn't exactly make for a compelling stream, so I try to minimize it.
Good point.
And yes, that was part of my problem. My characters were underleveled because I wasn't spending enough time doing it, but Like people don't always seem to appreciate what trying to keep things moving and entertaining does in an RPG setting. It doesn't exactly, they aren't conducive.
That's true.
So it is a hard balancing act at times. I know, woe is me, playing video games is hard, but like it is one of those things where yeah, it's true. They weren't wrong. Like I had to level up my dudes, but it's also not, the sphere system is cool, is not the most exciting thing to figure out or watch someone figure out. But
Well,
sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Sir Whiskey Jack in the chat says, yes, the best combat system. Agree or disagree? What do you think?
It is really good. I think the encounters are too long. It takes a little too long to go through it, but the combat system is really good. There are ways to fix it. It could be fixed into easily the best Final Fantasy combat system ever. There's problems with it, but it's very good. It's
Okay.
probably it's right up there. Like the fact that you can just swap out any of your party members at any time is super cool. It's something very unique, and I think it's really
Yeah, it reminds me of those
nice
tag team fighting game stuff when you get to tag people in and out. I like that.
Well, plus you don't always have to look for like dumb reasons why people can't adventure with you. Like as much as I love Baldur's Gate 3, you get to the point where you rescue Lizelle and she's like, I will come with you. And you're like, all right, come along. And she goes, you're full up. Send back one of your weakest party members. And it's like, why? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm full up? According to who? Like, we all accept it because we know the game has said this is the party limit restriction. But in no world are you only allowed to bring a couple of your friends on a journey like this.
Yeah.
And they don't give any reason for it. So I think having a system where you can switch people out and in, it resolves that problem of contrivance, you know, like Chrono Trigger. Oh, you can't time travel with more than 4 people.
I always hated that.
Or things get weird, or, you know, like there's either a story reason or it's arbitrary or whatever. Like, it's kind of nice to have a game be like, no, the whole party's there. They can all participate.
That would be fun. I'm just trying to think what that would do to the combat, but I would love that in BG3. Take everybody with you. Freaking have withers in there if you need them, whatever.
I think there's a mod. I don't know if they're all in your party, but they're all in dialogue or something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember somebody recommending that, like, where you could, like, you didn't have to have them in your party, but you could use them for looting chests or something like that.
I like that.
I think there might even be a mod to have the whole party out in combat too, though.
Oh yeah, Azix in the chat. There's a mod that removes the party restriction. Yeah.
I never say his name right, Azixa. I always feel bad.
And always that's a feature in a lot of the other D&D games. Like, it's funny that Larian put the 4-player cap on, because like 1 and 2 I don't think had party restrict. Like Icewind Dale, like all those kinds of games, I think you could have like 8 people in your party.
Yeah.
You know, like real D&D. Like there's no arbitrary cap on how many people you can have.
I was actually going to ask that. Is there? I've never been in a game where there was a cap of any kind, but is there a hard cap or a soft cap or anything for D&D? Like a recommended, don't go more than 10 people?
No,
or
you can play D&D with 100 people if you want.
Wow.
I mean, it's practicality that keeps
probably
it.
Don't want to, but
yeah, you don't
it's
want
practicality that keeps it at the size, but there's technically no cap, no minimum.
Interesting.
Think about how long a combat turn took to come back to you with 4 people.
It was a lot.
Now imagine it with 25.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
25
maybe
man raid in D&D.
if I had to guess why they did it the way they did it, it's for that reason. 5 is a reasonable number, but also swapping in and out shouldn't change that. Swapping a character in and having them do the turn, that's no different than if you had the other guy.
Maybe if there's 25 players, then you need like 1 DM and 4 sub DMs to help, you know, like 1 DM per table of 5, and then all communicating with the master.
Oh my
DM.
gosh, this sounds like
And the master
Shapes.
DM is like bingo. I'm on the microphone in front of everybody. Going,
It's actually all you had to do is say that and remind me of Shapes again, because that makes me think. Well, Nate, I need blue from 3 sources, so let's have this thing be in charge of the. That's all I had to say was sub DMs, and I think of Shapes again. What the frick?
I also want to give a shout out to Great name, Dirtbox Fingers in the chat, who said hard enough to get 3 people on a bloody Thursday. Yeah, imagine the scheduling conflicts of 25 people.
Yeah, it's
too.
hard, man.
Yeah, but
Like-
it's the raid policies. As I've been raiding in WoW, I'm starting to get, there's conversation about what if we win at 8, what if we win at 7? And I'm just like, I'm the streamer. I say 7. This is when it's happened. Show or don't. I don't care. Like that, So as a DM, maybe when you have that many people, it's like it's 8 p.m. on Saturday. Show up or don't. The train leaves without you.
I like the subtle jab from Claire in the chat. Quote, now what happens if I do Thunderwave next to everyone? Unquote. Yeah.
Yeah, you can start a bar fight, Claire.
Yeah, we know what happens. We've been there.
There'll be a bunch of people like, you Thunderwave my guy and killed my character I've had for 4 years. And then the beer bottles get smashed. And
Yeah, then there's a fight, and then the DM has a different story to tell. That's how it works.
Yeah. Well, he just goes, what I intended all along.
Yeah. Speaking of intending things, my obsession with Shapes is nothing compared to BEAU's obsession with the nearly 20-year-old game called World of Warcraft, specifically Sod.
I'm now the new host of the mini instance here on Core, the instance section, as I spend my entire week playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot, you guys. I put it in kind of maybe a more graphic way than I intended last week, but it's still true this week. Firm grip on the old yoinker, and I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I think Yakuza will peel me off finally, but I will echo what a lot of people in the guild have said: is we got a good bunch of lads in the guild. I think
that makes a huge difference.
Coming back,
yeah. Are you surprised though? Because your original plan was like, I'm going to cut out a couple hours every Saturday, and that'll be the day I play WoW. But that's
core community day. Let's go raid. But
yeah, not anymore.
You get kind of wrapped up. Like, well, when we first did the raid, Kellos kicked our ass, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go and like farm some pre-bis items for the raid. Like, I'm gonna gear up, and there's little things you can do. I did some PvP, get my necklace, and my trinket. Go do this quest chain. Save up some money for a rune. There's just all kinds of activities. And so the net result is at this point, I'm fully raid geared now, pretty much. I still have items I can get, but like I'm in all blues. And I have the epic purple sword, and I got the epic breastplate for the warrior.
Nice.
So yeah, I feel like a big baller in the video game. I sport my sword around and go like, look at this bad boy. You wish you had this bad boy. And I hit people in PvP for like 500 damage. It's awesome.
Yeah, your EP-ing. Your EP-ing is on point.
I mean, I'm just like, at that point you get invested. You're like, I've worked hard. We've organized these raids. Everyone's worked hard really to get the gear that I have. Like, I've been supported by the listeners who play. So it feels good. And it feels so good that I now have a hunter at level 25 that I've started raiding with. So I'm not just raiding on the warrior, I'm raiding on the hunter, and I got the most adorable. I see why you like playing GURP and playing a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I've been like, I played a mage and I was like, this is shit. Mages suck. So I was like, and I went to hunter and I'm like, oh goddamn, everything. Life is easy as a hunter. You get extra move speed. Your pet like fights stuff for you while you're skinning and doing other shit. That's why all the people hate hunters, because they're playing a better game. They're playing a better game than the rest of the classes, basically.
Yeah, I played a better version of WoW, 1 to 60, and then all the way to this new level and all the level squishes. I was playing a better game of WoW than everyone else.
Yeah, and that's certainly how it feels in Classic. I can walk around fast. I everything's easy to kill. It took me no time at all to level. It's almost an argument, Scott, for you to try Classic, because at least Hunter takes like 2 seconds to level.
Well, that's back
not
when
2
we
seconds, but
shit.
it's a lot less.
We took the most shit back then, so I'm not surprised to hear you say that.
It still happens now. Like I still see that kind of chatter, and I'm just like, you guys.
No,
are
you
jealous.
all deserved it. You all did.
Yeah.
You all earned it, whether it was stealing rogue gear or your pet causing wipes or
says
look,
the class
the hunter
that
was almost universally the problem.
I got a story about that because I'm still new to pet huntering, and I'm using the control commands.
Yeah.
So we're in SFK, and you know those hallways are narrow, Shadowfang Keep.
Yeah.
And I guess I misclicked because I sent my boar in to charge, but I think I clicked something 3 rooms beyond it, and I pulled like I pulled like 50 yards into the hallway, and I was like, "Oh, did I do that?"
Wow.
Everyone's like, "Yes, you did that." And I'm like, "I'm sorry," and
Yep.
wiped everybody.
I did that a few
Congratulations, you're a
times.
true hunter. You're
I like found the
absolutely a true
precise
hunter.
pixel that was highlighting someone 3 rooms away. I don't know how I managed to do it, but it was hilarious.
It happens. And the thing is, like John says this, but it's the rogues that are skipping trash that are like hanging out in the back. Like they've got
Hey,
their own
me
shitty-
hiding from trash doesn't kill the raid team. It just slightly it makes everybody a little more cautious.
Yeah, that's it.
I will say, like, as fun as and great as the hunter is, it does feel bad when you derp on him because it causes the most epic derps. Like,
Oh, big
if you're
time.
gonna if you're gonna screw everybody in your party, it's gonna be the hunter doing it by accident. And it does feel bad.
I don't remember what expansion it was, but there was a raid where there was a giant snake that you had to take as the first boss, and the snake was under. Oh, this is a raid. I don't remember what raid it was, but there was a snake. The model of the snake laid under all the land and was clickable by me. Or anyone ranged, really. But because he was clickable by me, a single right click meant I would either fire on him, but if I was turned the other way, my pet would go because he would automatically aggro. And so even in a more modern setting, I was setting that shit off every other week, and it was pissing,
Oh man.
because you get clicky and fidgety before we do the countdown. It's like, hurry up, I want to play.
I mean, accidental clicks happen, but the problem is no one has a pet that'll just go and chase whatever you click on. Like, it's hard. Life's hard for us, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
I used to do that in EverQuest intentionally. There was a Blackborough was a zone, and it had a big pit in the middle that would look all the way down to the bottom of the zone. And I used to love to troll, and I would just go to the edge, look down, and you could see one little knoll down there. You shoot him with a bow, and then you just go and sit by the entrance. And this was in the era of like aggro was whatever was nearby. That wasn't like some big wild table or anything like that. And every mob from this entire place would come storming up, and you would be right by the zone entrance. So everybody would be running out like full speed, like, oh God, oh God. And then you just step outside and you're totally safe, but you've evacuated the entire zone.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
These are great moments in MMO history.
So I've been enjoying the hunter, and I'm rating on him too. So the last thing I want to share is the boar that I tamed. He's like a noob boar. I'm not going for these fancy pets that do maximum DPS. He's because he's my little pecker.
Oh,
That's the name of my boar is Lil Pecker.
Lil
And
Pecker
so-
the boar. That's cute. I like
So
that.
it's like, and he makes for great like dad jokes where it's like, oh, I every now and then I'll just slash pet my little pecker. It'll just say, you pet your little pecker.
Wow.
And I'll be like, don't insult my little pecker, or like there's all kinds of.
This is some 2004 trolling. I love it.
Yeah, Bo has fully embraced the season of Discovery. He's like the next. He's pretty soon. He's gonna be like, guys, I told the funniest Chuck Norris joke.
Yeah. Before you know it,
I haven't seen the Chuck Norris joke yet.
you should make.
All I know
make.
is I love my little pecker, and don't laugh at my.
You
little
should
pecker.
You should start a guild called I Eat Babies, and then get banned for it, and then do a new just relive those days, man. Live it up.
I'm not trying to be too gross. We're talking about my pig and not my actual little pecker. Just my pet little pecker.
Yeah, no, I assumed it was just the
we got it.
Yeah, but I'm glad you brought it up and clarified, though. I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it's just an excuse to make jokes and raid all the time, and I just can't get enough of it. It's getting worse and worse with every passing day.
Nice.
But if you're not a hunter, you can't show off your little pecker. I also found a lake run ring in Black Fathom Deeps.
Lake run ring.
Yeah, it's a ring. All it does is it gives you 10% extra swim speed.
Really?
And I'm like, I want that. That's a core. I'm going to tell Core about this ring. We nicknamed it the Lake Run ring.
I love that. The LR ring.
Yeah.
The LRR. Yeah. Fancy drop.
Just a little FYI, if you like swim speed, there is a ring in the BFD raid that just gives you 10% swim speed.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Finally.
It's almost the most useless thing. I think the most useless thing so far we've seen is a trinket drop that lets you summon a Murloc for 10 minutes that gives you like 5 shadow resistance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no,
That's pretty useless. What's the point of that? That
I mean,
seems
just to immediately tie things once again back to EverQuest, I can remember setting an alarm over my summer vacation consistently to wake up every 4 or 6 hours or whatever it was just to kill an NPC that would spawn because he had a chance to drop an earring that let you breathe underwater.
Did you ever get it?
Oh.
Never drop?
Wasted a lot of my life is what happened. And then by the time I got it, I was able to buy it. I didn't want it anymore. I was like, who cares?
That sucks.
Who cares?
Yeah. No. That's
Anyways, good though. Yeah, just to wrap up the season of Discovery stuff, I just want to so a lot of people have come in. I'm just again going to post adverts for the raid times. We raid the stream raids. Me is Tuesdays 7 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday 3 p.m. Eastern. We're usually done quick enough that we run a second raid right after, and we try to get characters in, like people who haven't run. We have a regular group now, but it's only 10 people, so we try to run a second group right after.
Oh, I love that.
So there's that, and that it's core community members.
Sure.
So it's all show listeners. You want to come raid with me, you can try and get into one of those. The second one hasn't only filled up for the first time this past week, so I'm guessing on Tuesday. So maybe Saturday we'll get 2 full raids going. We also there's a guy in the guild named Taint.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Does he stand between penis and butthole?
Apparently it's a god in a TTRPG, but I just think of that fleshy place that you just described.
It's your happy place. Yeah.
Poor Taint.
So Taint
was a mighty god until people co-opted his name.
He sometimes goes by Wormskull, but Taint. So he wants to run a raid on Wednesdays. I'm going to mess up the times. It's like either 8 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. Eastern, or 8 p.m. server or 10 p.m. server. Details are in the guild, so just join the guild and you'll see the message.
Okay.
And as well on Saturdays, after we run the 2, he's going to run some more later in the evening. Anyways, all that to say, there's opportunities to run raids. So we got a fairly active group. We're up to about 300 members in the group now. So lots of people, lots of raids, lots of season of discoveries, and lots of little peckers.
That's fantastic. And the thing is, we have a really great community. But today, we had some people in Discord where we had to throw a little cold water on them. You guys chill out.
Oh, no, what happened?
Oh, there was just some argument. I don't know. I don't even know what it was about. It was just kind of getting out of control.
There's no best version of WoW. Let's not do the PlayStation, Xbox fanboy shit with WoW if that's what it is.
That wasn't it, but it's, okay. I don't know what it was. I shouldn't say that because I actually don't know. Maybe it was about that, but
all right,
it's fine. Just know that we got good people, and occasionally throw a little water on them. They're fine. All right.
Yeah. Unless they're gremlins.
Yeah, but it's the opposite of gremlins.
Bo and I both understand the cautionary tale. We learned the lesson.
Yeah. I should have learned it. I've liked those movies, and I didn't even think of them.
Just be chill and don't be weird, okay?
Yeah, be cool. You're good.
Be cool. We're just here to have fun and play video games and not put up with your weird shit.
Tell me about Shadows of Doubt, because I don't know what that is. Never even heard of that.
So Shadows of Doubt, interesting little title that caught my eye immediately. So this is a immersive sim, type game. So
I bought this.
Oh, look at
so
this.
It's procedurally generated. It's not a story like Deus Ex, but kind of think like Deus Ex. Like it's meant to be immersive in what it's simulating, and what it's simulating is kind of an alternate history, current day, where you are a film noir detective.
All right.
And it procedurally generates a crime for you to solve. It's a bit sci-fi-ish, and the mega corporation runs the city, and rather than police, I think it's security forces. But generally speaking, it's mailboxes and phones, and like there's computers, but there's no real internet. And it's all done using voxel stuff.
I love that look. That look is so cool.
Yeah. And basically what you do is like you have an apartment and you go out and solve crimes for money. You can lose money if you get fines for like breaking into things and get caught and stuff like that. You solve the crimes for money, and then you get improvements. Like you can get genetic enhancements to yourself to be a better detective, or just cosmetic improvements to where you live. Now, I've only been playing through the tutorial mission, which was I don't know that it's quite long, but it takes me a long time to look through evidence. It's not like a fast-paced game. It's not meant to really be an action game. It's meant for you to like look for clues. You get this nice UI that lets you pin clues up to a pinboard and put strings next to it, and piece together who the Vic is, who the possible suspects are, and you can go and question them. So it's not like a fully featured AAA game with tons of dialogue options and all that, but it is, more of a it has all like the sauce, the steps in it, and it's got nice mood. There's security cameras that you have to turn off. There's vents. There are fingerprint guns. You got to scan for fingerprints. Everything like detective wise, it's like emulating what it might be like to play as an actual detective. And I what I played, I enjoyed so far. It's fun. It's got
Yeah,
a
it
real
looks
vibe,
neat.
and yeah,
It looks cool. I wish listed this forever ago and forgot all about it. John,
I mean, I haven't.
you grabbed it. You have it. You own it.
Yeah.
John,
I did.
Oh.
I it was recommended to me. I was told might not be the most interesting streaming game, but is very cool. And I went, all right. Mostly I've been streaming lately, so I haven't played it as a result. But this sounded awesome, like a detective simulator where they're kind of generating the mystery. Sounds like such a cool concept.
Yeah, it looks neat. I feels like I'm looking at Teardown visually.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Teardown.
In a good
think
way. I
this
like that
game
look a
looks
lot.
Super cool. It's
Yeah.
neat to. I'm really happy to hear Bo thinks it's cool.
That's
because
great.
I wanna
So
try it.
so far, it's just very detailed. The little things like like there's light switches in every room. You got to pay attention to light switches. You can't piss off people. There's power cables, so you can shut down like the electricity in places so that the cameras don't work. And there's just probably more I haven't explored yet. I just really like how finely detailed the interactables are in a crime scene and stuff. So yeah, it says I haven't fully played it. I might need to play a bit more before it's like a wholesale recommend. But like what I played, I liked a lot. So if it intrigues you, but you're not sure, it's a worthwhile purchase, I would say.
Okay, I'm interested. This looks neat.
Especially because it's procedural. Sometimes you play a detective game once you know the mystery. That's it.
Yeah, you're done.
You don't really want to go back. So the fact that it's procedural means like things are fresh a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I love like this is a great type of game for procedurally generated content because you don't want it to be as simple as, well, then I'm going to just, I pulled up a guide. I found out what it was, or somebody slapped up a YouTube thumbnail that shows who the killer is or something like that.
It's also an example of a genre or a kind of approach to a game that will greatly benefit from LLMs and other technologies. And that's where I want to see this stuff, is in concepts like this, like really push the envelope on what we expect from storytelling and procedural generation in general, which can be a little dicey. Really push those envelopes. I'm all in on that. So bring it. I want that game.
Yeah.
Then you played some VR because you're the VR guy. What'd you play?
So I forgot to write it on the list here too. But Crofton and Mike and I got together IRL yesterday, and we played some board games.
Oh, fun!
And I played El Dorado, which is a quick, fun game for all ages. It's like a deck builder, but you race to get to El Dorado.
Mm-hmm.
I do recommend it. It's pretty good. And we played Root again, which I'm sure Crofton cheated because he won. And the game's rules are complicated, but there's always cheating that can go unvalidated. Not intentional, but
Sounds like him.
I'm sure he cheated.
Yeah.
But anyways, we played a bunch of board games, and Crofton was like, well, it's still early. Do you want to play some VR? And I was like, I'm feeling kind of tired. I don't know. But I get so rarely an opportunity to play multiplayer in VR that I eventually was convinced. And we played Dungeons of Eternity. Now, it wasn't as long as we would have liked because he didn't charge his headset and only had 56%, even though he's got the extra battery, which was at 0.
Yeah.
And it's funny. So he abandoned me midway through. But what Dungeons of Eternity is, I think it's like Dark and Darker, a lot of these procedurally generated random dungeons where you crawl with your friends. It's roguelite, so you bring back resources, unlock skins and upgrades, and you go out and dungeon again. Except it's not strapped to fantasy. It's like the lore of the game is like there's fantasy shit happening, but you're sci-fi people. So even though right now all we have are swords and axes and bow and arrow, you can get magic and laser guns and weird robot shit too to go into these catacombs.
Weird.
Yeah, and I haven't done much actual like multiplayer where I'm playing with somebody like in an action game. And it's good. Like it's actually pretty responsive. Fighting's interesting. It's like Asgard's Wrath light, and the it's just responsive. The combat's fun, if just a little intense. Like at one point, there was these 3 devil guys with double wielding axes that are just they're so like on speed or whatever. Like they just won't stop coming at you, and it was great. So I really like this game. The one problem I have with it is, of course, it has spiders.
Oh yeah.
And having Crofton there was kind of nice because he'd be like, just take care of the spiders for me. And he's like, I don't like them either. I'm like, yeah, I hate them more. And so, like when we when he disconnected, I was like, oh, do you want me to stop? He's like, no, finish the level. So I'm like, okay. And you know what? There's these little spiders, and I'm pretty good with the bow and arrow, so I can take them out from range, and that's great. And then I get to the end level, and it's like waves of dudes that I got to collect batteries from to power up the robot to take me back and finish the mission.
Yeah.
And the second wave spawned two giant ass spiders firing webs at me, and I just took the headset off. And I just messaged him. I'm like, nope, I'm not finishing this level. F this game.
Wow. Wow.
So that's the one thing is I don't really enjoy. I actually enjoy the sword combat and the multiplayer. It's fun. It's a big recommend, but I'm feeling a little bit like down on it because I don't like. I've drawn a line. I don't like spiders in VR. I can't be mad at Skyrim VR because that game was designed as a flat screen game.
Yeah.
But if you're making like a specific, this is a VR game, just please don't put spiders in or put an arachnophobia mode in. Like, it's way worse in VR than it is on a flat screen. I can handle flat screen. I cannot handle them in VR.
Yeah. Too real, too close. I get it.
It's their movement, and it's beyond logic. I can't rationalize why I don't like it. I just see them and I get really freaked out and uncomfortable.
So quick question for you: does the game having sci-fi elements mixed in with this, like, hard dark fantasy stuff, does that work? Does it feel discordant? It seems a little weird.
It's not discordant. They present it to you right away because I think the game is just like a spot of fun, right? Like VR. It doesn't mess with any lore. It's not like it's associated to lore. It's just like, LOL video games, right? So personally, like, if you just go by the litmus test, do I like swinging my sword and killing dudes and it's a bit of fun with friends? It's like hits a perfect note. It's definitely not a high-end, big budget game, but that's okay. So I think I would put it more like an indie title that's just trying to be fun, have a fun loop, and so far it was fun. It's not, I don't think it's that fun solo because I played it solo before, but just didn't report on it on the show.
Right.
But multiplayer, it's fun when you're playing with friends, especially because you can do like goofy shit. Like he's like, "Do you want to we were hanging out in the main lobby, and he's like, "Here, take my glass, drink from it." And I'm like, "Okay," I pretend to drink from it. And he's like, "Here, have another one." And I'm like, "Okay," and I pretend to drink from it. He's like, look what I'm putting in the cup. And then he's holding the cup in his crotch. And he's like, "I'm peeing at it." He wasn't really peeing at it, but that's... So he's joking around that he fed me 2 glasses of piss. And it's just funny, right? You're just like,
that's some Crofton shit if I ever heard any.
Yeah. So, yeah.
If he could. Here's the thing about Crofton, though. If he could put real pee in there, he would. He'd do it.
Yeah, well, yes, he got a laugh. It's just because he's jealous how awesome. Oh, because I forgot the context of the whole day. Their first game of El Dorado, I beat him so bad he never wanted to play it again, and we had to talk him for 30 minutes into playing his second game. It's like, Bo's just gonna win. He's too good at deck builders.
Yeah.
And then and then I lost the second game. So
Did you let him win? Is my question.
I didn't. I got stuck in a trap.
He's no Wookiee, so it's fine.
Yeah, I just got really lucky and built an awesome deck and trounced him so hard that it took him like a few hours to mentally recover.
Nice. Well, we've all had quite the lineup this week. We are now going to take our first break of the year and come back in 5 minutes. And when we do, we got a Dear Martha review coming from Steam, is it?
No, Reddit.
Oh, Reddit.
Oh no.
Oh, sweet. John. I'm excited about this. All right. So, yeah, we'll be doing that. We got some news to cover, a couple of bits of feedback from you at home, including a call for Beau and his VR love. So we'll see what he says about that. Look at his big thumbs up. That's a good sign. Anyway, we will not be too terribly long. 5 minutes, like I say. We'll be right back. All right. We have returned from our break. Thank you for hanging in there. We're going to dive straight into a Dear Martha. It's a Reddit review post? What is this thing?
It's a Reddit story that I found. And I'm not going to lie, I was not going to mine these depths.
Yeah.
But then I thought of the name of who the letter was from, and it's a joke I liked so much that I'm like, nope, this is what we're doing this week.
Fantastic. Here it comes.
So yes, I've set it up to an impossibly high stake, and there's no way it's as funny as I've just set it up by saying that, but I liked it enough to do it. So
all right.
That's what we're doing
Let's
today.
give it a shot. Here we go.
My dearest Martha, I broke up with my fiancée because her best friend insulted my favorite game. Me, a male, 28, and my fiancée, a female, 27, have had a 3-year-long healthy relationship. But something that really pissed me off was her annoying girl best friend. She was always rude to me, but I never really cared. And recently, I've been playing a game called Red Dead Redemption 2. It's one of the most beautiful games I have ever played, probably even the best. One day, me and my fiancée wanted to meet up with her girl best friend at a restaurant. Once we all sat down, her girl best friend started making fun of me in front of everyone in the restaurant. At some point, she asks me if I played any video games, and I told her I did, and that I play Red Dead Redemption. Immediately, she starts laughing at me. This angered me a lot, but I kept my cool. Until she said that Red Dead is a terrible game and that I should kill myself.
What?
After that, I snapped. I got in the car leaving my fiancée back at the restaurant and went home. After making all my baggages, I sat down and told her that we should break up because of her stupid girl best friend. To this day, I don't regret what I did. I feel much freer without her. Yours in this life and the next, Red Dead Redemption.
That made everything better. Red Dead Redemption. Do you make that up or did he go by that name?
I made that up.
That's
that
pretty
was
good,
mine.
John. Yeah.
That was my one contribution to reading this.
That's amazing. Also, it's weird that he kept calling her girl best friend.
Yeah, that was very bizarre. It stuck out to me too. I kind of feel like, look, I know we're only seeing one side of the story.
Yeah.
But I feel like the fact that he kept saying it that way really makes me think maybe they both dodged a bullet in this scenario.
Might have. Yeah. I think that's fair to say. Well, that's fantastic.
If it isn't even made up at the at this point.
Yeah, it could be. This is from the stories subreddit.
I've heard that girls have best friends and they're called girl best friends. So that's
Yeah,
what
girl best friends. This was with her girl best
They
friend.
just say girlfriends usually, right? Like my wife will say, I'm going with my
maybe
girlfriends.
this person just couldn't bring
Or
themselves
just
to write it.
her best friend. Usually,
Yeah, you could.
usually the gender doesn't matter. Welcome to insultdom, my friend.
That's why I stopped saying my
Girl
Korean
best friends.
my Korean brother. I stopped doing it for similar reasons. There's no reason to denote it. He's just my brother. It's dumb to say my Korean brother, so I quit doing it.
But I mean, there must be a history to that because
There
you're
is.
young, right?
There is. When we were young, there was,
yeah.
there was a big part of it. Plus, he was adopted. Plus, I just felt like it was clarity for people. So if they were like, "Who'd you go with?" "Oh, I went with my Korean brother." Somehow gave clarity.
So this anticipate. Okay, so we do this right when we know there's something weird about us. We pre-qualify it
Right.
to save ourselves the explanation
Right.
Yeah.
later. So it isn't about you being like he's Korean, like like it's that.
It's
Yes,
the-
he's really my brother. Like,
yeah,
it's
and
a
that you
real
wouldn't
thing.
believe it if
Yeah.
you saw us together. You would never go, "Oh, they're brothers, obviously." Well, no, you wouldn't obviously think that, but we are. So, yeah, I realized though, I'm at the stage of my life where I just
we
don't
don't
need
have
to
a
do
word
it.
for adoptive brother either. Like we have stepbrother.
Yeah,
but we
that's
don't
true.
have ad brother.
Ad brother. I like
bro.
that. Like a
Ad
like
bro.
a like a boss fight. We got more ads coming in, and they're
More
Korean.
Welsh,
Sorry, I
many
interrupted
Welsh
you,
handle
Scott.
it.
No. I'm glad we got to go there. Let's get to some news though. We got some news that happened. These are some brief, quick things. So enjoy these. We're going to start with this one. Pretty heartwarming, actually. I really like the story. Been talking about it on other shows this week. 13-year-old boy is believed to be the first person to beat Tetris. By that meaning, what is it, level 29? I'll have to look at the article again. But he got the kill screen, which is no one's done before, on record anyway.
Level 29 was thought to be previously where it would be too fast for a human to complete.
That's right. That's right. And they're using this technique called fluttering shit. Is this article making me pay.
Is it not fluttering, but tapping, where they put the controller upside down on their lap and tap the back of the controller?
Yeah, and there's an actual word. They have a term for the technique. I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it in the article.
Rolling. Okay, yeah,
that's rolling.
I saw someone rolling. Yeah.
Okay. The one thing I always like to point out about this is that this is the NES version of the game, a game that existed before this kid was long before he was born. That's not the cool part, though. The cool part is Tetris used to not have the reserve piece mechanic. So for me to play Tetris these days, if you're playing a more modern Tetris game, they almost always have the reserve piece. So if you've got a long one you want to use later, you this happened on TMS. I'm repeating history. I did it this morning. But anyway, you can put that in reserve and then pull it out when you need it.
Yeah, go on.
It's like Coke. It was like Coke last week.
We're
anyway,
just talking about.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm drinking Pepsi.
Bo's converted to Pepsi now. You converted him.
I can't say that one wrong. So anyway, this is a much harder version of Tetris just inherently. And it's a really impressive thing. And also it has sparked, like a lot of these dormant records where nobody's really vying for the top spot very hard or not in great numbers. This happened, and immediately all the old Tetris heads are like, oh my gosh, I got to beat that. I got to beat that time. Because now it's a speed run about getting to 29 faster than the kid did and got the kill screen. And that's
It's not 29. He got to level 157.
Oh, they thought it was 29 was the best you could do. That's the deal. I keep confusing that. So he got to a literal kill screen. So now it's a matter of can people get to the kill screen sooner than he did. And that's how you now have a new record to chase. And there's a bunch of that going on. I love the speedrunning stuff. I think that community is great. They're all really nice to each other. I watched a great documentary on YouTube about the scene around Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It was crazy. One of the most interesting quote-unquote movies I saw all year. Last year was this 2-hour documentary on that thing. Absolutely wild. Anyway, I would dig deeper if I were you folks because it's fun.
I mean, I still think King of Kong is one of the most universal documentaries. You can show anybody and they will go, why are we watching this? And then by the end, they're like, I'm 100% into this.
Yeah, dude, that's such a good movie. Gosh, I haven't seen that forever. Can I stream that somewhere?
King of Kong is
King of Kong is amazing. And there's things that have happened since. I wonder if they ever do like a follow-up on that, you know?
I mean, right now, Billy Mitchell, be careful because apparently he sues anybody that even suggests anything about him. But apparently he is in some extreme legal hot trouble or hot water. That's what it's that's what it is. Not
some hot trouble.
Some hot trouble is coming Billy Mitchell's way because there's now, I guess, some actual evidence that maybe some of his scores might have been fake.
Yeah, I think he did some cheating. Although we're not saying that, Billy.
Because he really does. He really goes after literally everyone.
Yeah, that's not us talking. That's somebody else. We're just relaying the information.
We can't fight barbecue sauce money. How could we?
Exactly.
I don't remember it's barbecue sauce or hot sauce. We can't fight it.
This movie, which is amazing, is let's see, 2007. Yeah, there it is. It is not streaming on a service other than rental or buy, and right now it's only $5 on Amazon or Apple to buy that thing. I'm gonna buy that tonight.
I'm pretty sure I own it. I think I do. If I don't, I would 100% buy it. It is that good. I will watch that movie anytime somebody wants to watch it. King of Kong is great.
That's, let's see, 1080p is the maximum. There's no 4K remaster, but whatever. I'm getting it. I'm getting it tonight.
If you haven't seen it, if you are hearing our voice and you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yep.
It's, even if you think I'm not going to be interested in this, I mean, I'm not going to guarantee. There's a lot of people out there, but
it's a hard thing to guarantee.
But you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Steve Wiebe is life. I love that guy. All right, moving on. Mickey Mouse went public. Well, not really. Steamboat Willie went public domain.
Yeah.
And is already in a horror game, and it looks like basically Mickey Mouse freaking out. Now, the horror game that's coming out, this is how that had to have gone. Everybody knew Steamboat Willie was going to go end of life and go public domain. These guys have been making this game for a while and just didn't say anything until that day happened. So they didn't make it in a day or a weekend like Bo might suggest. They
Let's head that off right now. You cannot use this as evidence, Bo. All right,
so they made it. They made it.
Well, and apparently there's going to be 2 horror movies that are already in the works. I mean, it's kind of
ridiculous, dude.
Why we can't have nice things, everybody. Like, everybody wants to complain about how bad copyright laws are, and then we totally justify them by what we do the second something becomes public domain. We just can't help ourselves.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm not saying it's right, but I begin to understand why people hold on to these things so dearly when the second something becomes available, there's a video game, and there's 2 movies and all of that. My understanding is that this is not a Mickey Mouse video game, but that this is it's going to have mini monsters in it, but that Mickey Mouse is one of them.
Yeah, he's
or
the
Steamboat Willie.
yes,
whatever you want to call
whatever
it.
lawyers.
We know him as Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in there too.
Yeah, he's gonna be in there. I don't know, man. Like, there's a couple of them being made, like you said, films. The game looks like sort of a take on Phasmophobia a little bit.
Yeah.
4 of you running around. Although that trailer's real suspect to me. It looks like kind of shit. And I don't mean like bad graphics. I mean like pre-rendered, trying to look finished. I don't know. There's something going on there. I smell.
I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see when it comes out. Don't pre-order.
I smell a grift. We'll see. What else? Jack Black will be voicing Minecraft Steve in the movie Minecraft, which is also being made. So they're making a Minecraft movie, and he will voice Steve, the titular character of Minecraft. Great.
I think I like Jack Black.
I
have
do,
no preconceived notions on how Minecraft Steve should sound, so I have no opinion on this one, but
yeah.
But it might be really good. I mean, with Jack Black there, does it not make you want to play a little bit, maybe, or something?
A little bit. I kind of want to. I
always kind of want to play Minecraft.
Yeah, same.
Like I don't play a ton of it, but anytime someone mentions it, I'm like, I could play some Minecraft.
Yeah, and I see sometimes someone will mod it up so crazy good looking that I'll be like, where are these mods? I gotta get this stuff. Which version do I download? Do I just get the Game Pass one? Do I have to buy something else? I have all that shit, and then I forget and don't do it. But I get excited about Minecraft about once a month, and then I don't do shit about it. So whatever. Guardians of the Galaxy, I think a very excellent video game, came out a couple years ago, is now free on Epic Games. Even Bo logged in and redeemed that one. Good job, Bo.
Yep. I was like, you know what? That's a game that flew by me that if I had a chance maybe to boot it up, I might enjoy and play. So I was like, I'm grabbing it.
Should grab it. It's great.
I
have it on Steam and I have it on Xbox, and the Steam one I got free for code, so it wasn't that big a deal. But once again, just talking about it made me want to keep playing it. Never finished it. So
Tim Sweeney's Christmas gift to us all. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. You're the best.
You're the best. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Very thoughtful.
Resurgence of the Storm is a Heroes of the Storm remake mod in StarCraft 2.
Oh, you got to see the trailer for this.
We've come full circle, everybody.
So
we're back.
I thought it was gonna look janky. This shit looks like Heroes of the Storm. Do you see there's a video link underneath?
But since there is a Heroes of the Storm, what is the point of making?
So, okay, I'm glad you asked. Click that YouTube link directly under it. There's a link to
here.
YouTube.
Yeah.
In the show notes.
Yeah.
It's probably the same video as what you're seeing, but you need to just full screen this and go to chapter 2.
Okay.
Of the video.
Is this really
game?
Is that real?
So they adding new heroes. That's Selendis, and you're gonna see Phoenix in a second.
Holy shit!
Yes,
Yeah.
that it's like it's not just that they're not modding the game because like why don't you play it here? It's like it's because they can't mod the Heroes of the Storm client, but the Heroes of the Storm client is the same shit as StarCraft 2 engine. So they ported it back over so they can make fan-made heroes and maybe maps and who the hell knows what else. Hell yes, son. This is sick.
I thought this was going to look like jank. They always look like jank in those mods. This doesn't look like jank.
This looks like the game. Like
this looks like Heroes of the Storm.
Yes.
I guess we're gonna. I bet a lot of the new heroes are gonna be StarCraft characters. We're gonna see a lot
probably
of StarCraft.
Because I don't know, they're gonna have to reuse assets or use existing shit. But like, even that, I'm just like, man, it's Selendis. That's awesome. And Phoenix is dope too.
Selendis, I'm super excited for. That was on. You guys might remember back from when this was a Heroes of the Storm show. Selendis was always one of my I want heroes.
Yeah.
How is this happening? I'm looking at this and I'm blown
Because
away by
people are
this.
sick of waiting for Blizzard to get off their ass and do it.
Yes,
And do it themselves.
Like, support your game. Heroes is still relevant. Like, just give it a couple million a year or something. Come on, guys.
I mean, I guess the Heroes engine is just the StarCraft engine. I mean, you said it, but,
right.
Yeah. So I guess I shouldn't be this surprised, but every mod, they had the arcade or whatever, StarCraft arcade. Every one of those things looked like shit to me. It was fun because it was goofy or whatever, but none of it looked good. This looks legit.
Yeah, no, that's I was dour too. I'm like, okay, this is just like a gimmicky story. Like, yeah, because the headline for the PC Gamer article is like, we've come full circle. Heroes of the Storm is a mod for StarCraft. Officially made one with the StarCraft 2 engine, and now modders have modded it back into StarCraft 2. And I was like, okay, LOL, like funny headline. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, oh my God, like this looks way better than I thought. It's like it's the literal game. Like they didn't just port it. It seems like they painstakingly just full recreated the game for the only express purpose so that they can add new content, because they can't add new content in the Heroes of the Storm client, which if they're going to discontinue support for the game, just please let them import shit to the actual heroes, like make up sandbox mode where there's custom heroes and maps. Like, don't make people do this. Come on, Bobby.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Bobby's gone now, so
Bobby's gone. You can't ask Bobby for shit.
But
anymore.
come on, whoever is there, whatever's going on over there, like just please open up Heroes of the Storm so that these people can make some rad shit in there, some new sandbox heroes, maybe even. If one's good enough, put it on the store and, something. Like
or pay these guys for the work they've done here.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Holy shit. I still feel like I'm getting punked.
Yeah.
Like this looks too, I feel like I'm just looking at Heroes of the Storm here.
And there's an Arthas rework that they have in here as well as a Ragnaros one. Like they're just,
that is absolutely wild. What is Blizzard? Do they get weird about this? Cause it's all their assets and shit.
Probably not, because the other thing that's coming down the pipeline is Warcraft. There's a mod for Warcraft 3 that's Warcraft 2 in the Warcraft 3 engine that's like launching in 2 days.
Wait. You're saying that the Warcraft 3 shitty piece of shit they re-released, the updated one, is actually I will install that
again. A full
again.
campaign mod of Warcraft 2. I saw it on Twitter the other day. I forgot to throw it in the show notes.
See, they're doing. What this happening? And maybe they can still fix this, salvageable. But what's happening is what has always happened to them, which is they have a thing, they make a thing, they get distracted doing something else, and somebody comes into the backyard with just a few mod tools and outdoes them, and then they miss out on the world that was League of Legends and Dota 2. Came to it late.
It's the same story all over. It's the same with Season of Discovery in World of Warcraft, because private servers have been doing that forever. One of the big reasons that some of these private servers entice you to go play over there is they remix shit and to go do crazy shit. And in comparison, Season of Discovery is still kind of pinned in a little bit. They're just very like, I don't know. I guess when you have like a behemoth and it's considered a legend, you're so like hesitant to just shoot from the hip and do this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But so the community outpaces you. But in the case of Heroes, they have let it lie dormant, and that's wild. And yes, even with the Warcraft 2 campaign, like they could launch a Warcraft 2 remake and make money. like hire these guys and just make the money and pay them a salary and make the profit off the Warcraft 2 set. Like it is kind of crazy, and it's hard to
bananas.
I don't know why this keeps happening. Like what gears are locked and seized that need to get unseized within that business to make these things happen.
Yeah, and maybe that's happening. Maybe, Kotick left on the 29th was his last day.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know how much of it's him to blame. Like, it seems to me when you have a company that big, like, do all product decisions go through the executive board? I guess so. Like, but it seems crazy in a way too.
Yeah, absolutely wild.
But anyways, this is
blown away by that, dude. Blown away.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so I had the same thing. I went the same 180 as you. You just did it on camera, which is great. I'm glad you did that.
I just feel like somebody's gonna write in and go, "Oh, you guys didn't hear that was like a big joke." It's not. It's just footage from the game. That's how real that looks to me. That's crazy.
Well, sure, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's legit the game. By the way, the chat room, the Wrath 86 had something that might be enticing to you both. Sea of Thieves now has a non-PvP mode called Safer Seas.
Shut up, dude. Really?
So a chief complaint has been, I want to get into that game, but like I'm just gonna get punked, or I just want
Yeah.
to play peacefully at my own pace.
Yeah, yeah.
Here you go.
I'm in.
That
I know.
should have been
John and
a long
I are
time
both.
overdue.
John and I are Samus, basically. We like a big world by ourselves a lot of time. I like
The
multiplayer.
game's
but
challenging enough to play even without the PvP element. Like I'll admit, like sailing a boat's not the easiest thing in the world. There's plenty of fun to be had without getting ganked by some kids. So yeah, no, that's cool.
I'm doing that shit. Thank you for the.
You guys want to play it one of these Tuesdays finally? When we...
Yes, because we are going to be doing so. So may as well say this now. Tuesdays are going to be as close as we have something we can lock in. There'll be changes here and there, but this week I had a dental thing, so we couldn't do it. But this Tuesday we're going to get together. We don't know what we're playing yet. Maybe we're playing that. I wouldn't mind getting the ropes from BEAU in a proper game of that. It's up to John, but. We could do that. We got all sorts of shit we can play.
It's a big list. We don't have to make promises.
Yeah. I also really want to get back into. I don't know what made me think of it today. I can't think of the name of the game. Rock and Stone. What is it?
Oh, the dwarf game.
Deep Rock Galactic.
Deep Rock
Dwarf
Galactic.
game. Yeah, I couldn't even remember our fake name, but I want to play that again.
There's new shit
Sea
in there
of Thieves
too.
wouldn't be bad. I want to play more Lethal Company, even though that is the biggest pain in the butt to set up.
It is.
It's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna use Tuesdays for multiplayer games. So no matter what, you're getting more multiplayer. We all stream independent, so you can load up multi-Twitch or whatever you do to see all of us, and you can see all our perspectives and all of that. So
Especially with Lethal Company, because sometimes you lose contact with somebody and you want to find out what happened to them as a viewer.
It's like Lethal Company's really good for the 3 streams, because if suddenly somebody's not doing anything interesting, or everybody else is dead, you can still check in with the others.
Yeah,
so,
it's amazing.
there's a lot of fun to be had there with those.
So we got a list, but we're going to plan on it this Tuesday. So come around. I forgot what time. Is it noon our time for John and I?
Yeah, noon Mountain time.
Noon
so
Mountain.
That is
2 p.m. my time.
Yeah. So it's about an hour after TMS for those who are still around for that. We'll kick it in, play for a few hours, however long we can go, and then do it every Tuesday. So looking forward to it. Final note, City of Heroes private server receives its official license to operate from NCSoft. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Well done. I kind of been tempted to check that
game.
out. People love City of Heroes.
miss that.
That thing should have never gone away. There should be a sequel by now, or at least a million updates and all that.
I would like add the thing about this story, because I don't know if it's the first of its kind. It's the first that I can think of. There's a lot of MMOs that don't operate that have, Star Wars Galaxies being one of them, PlanetSide being another. If more companies would just license out like something nice, like a percentage of donations and sales or something like that. Like I don't know what it's costing them, but I wish there'd be more of this. If they're not going to host their old games, like have a system to license out unofficial, third parties to.
Yeah, I agree. I support this 100%. I think it's really cool. I don't like that NCSoft tends to cancel their games too soon. Overall, that really annoys me. I thought, not Brave Star. What was it called?
WildStar.
WildStar was amazing and had so much potential, and they just didn't give it the time it needed. And NCSoft just does that stuff. So I'm not surprised by that, but I am surprised they gave them the license. So I say good on them.
I embrace this new future. Let's do it.
You'll never get this out of Disney or freaking Blizzard or anybody else, but NCSoft, they can do stuff like that. Okay, that is it for that. Let's get to this.
That's a good question.
Before I get to a couple of very quick emails and a call, I want to read this thing about Michael Betts is his name. He made a very, very cool RPG that's up on Steam right now. It's called Tower Song. He's one of us. He's a core listener. He's been listening to Frog Pants stuff since the instance, like way back. He reached out to me and said, I made this 2D turn-based game. It's a lot of inspiration from a lot of our favorites from back in the day. Choose your hero, customize your party skills and gear, hone your strategies to defeat challenging enemies in this dungeon-crawling adventure, is one of its descriptions. I want people to go check it out. We got codes. We're going to try it ourselves, and I haven't had time yet, but I'm going to. I've already installed it. I just got to play it. So these guys, we'll definitely talk about it next week. But just search Tower Song in Steam and check it out. Big grats to Michael on such a cool thing. This isn't a paid ad or anything. Just want to help.
Well, this is how you know they're an actual listener. They knew there were 3 hosts.
They knew there were 3 hosts. You're right. That's an important aspect of this.
That's how you know. If we get 1 code, not a real listener.
Not a real.
Because they don't know how many hosts are on this show.
It's a really good point. But he seems like, I've talked to him off air a bunch. He seems like a totally cool dude. And I'm just stoked when you guys make cool shit. So let us know when you do in the gaming space. We're happy to, tell people about it and promo it and stuff. So let us know. And congrats again to Michael. Again, that's Tower Song on Steam. And it looks pretty rad. All right. Quick email from Joe, who wrote in to talktothecore@gmail.com. It says, hello, Core Hounds. Just a quick PSA on how to find hidden Steam games in the desktop app. So, they introduced the whole hide your Steam games thing. So no one knows Bo has Orc Massage or whatever. I don't know why I'm using you.
Everyone knows, so there's no point in hiding it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think it wasn't Sex Chest that he hid.
Oh, Sex Chest. Or
I
chest.
haven't actually hit.
Sex
Oh,
chest.
did I hit it? I think maybe I did hide it, actually.
Sex
Yeah, you
Chest.
think you did.
I can't believe I got that wrong. Oh, I meant to show you guys. Sorry. Total gear change for just a second. A guy in our community, speaking of, and now he doesn't know we have 3 hosts. Just kidding. Mike Pachulik, who's a great guy, for Christmas sent me a 3D printed Tio Salamanca. Look at this.
Oh my gosh, that's
wow.
amazing.
Isn't that amazing? Look at that. It's like I'm going to
good.
paint it eventually and do like all skin tones and stuff. His head comes off because you got to print it separate. I was thinking
Rang the
about,
bell too many times.
well, Ibit had this great idea. You open this up and in there is one of those bells and you bing and you bing.
oh,
the
that'd be
bell.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, isn't that great? Just
That
love
is
it.
so, like, detailed.
It really is
Like,
good,
what
yeah.
was-
People are getting crazy with 3D printing. Anyway, here is the email that I just stopped mid-sentence, and now I will continue it. In the desktop app, look along the top row of drop-down menus in Steam. View, Friends, Games, and Help. Click View, then Hidden Games. For me, it is the second option, that is. Thanks for everything. Keep being awesome. I can't remember if we were like having trouble finding it or what the deal was to see our hidden games. Because you want to, because this is for you to do it, right?
Hang on.
So you're like, did I hide Orc
Yeah,
Massage?
in case you had a hidden game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm already lost. Sorry, it's Steam.
Yeah, you're in.
Okay, so
The top row menu: Steam, View, Friends, Games, Help.
click view and then hidden games.
Hidden games. Yeah.
Hidden game. Oh,
Do you see it?
yeah. I haven't actually hit anything yet. I guess. So let me try. Where's Sex Chess? There it is. Oh, it's installed. Oops.
Is
How
it?
do I move it to hidden games?
You right click it, hide game. I think.
And manage. Hide this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
now
the big
hidden.
thing is can we see it though? Did that work for us, or if we go to Bo's profile, are we going to see how much game time he spent?
Well, I'm gonna
All
open.
right, what I
Steam.
should do is hide something like Baldur's Gate 3, right, which is on my profile right now.
Oh.
Yeah,
do that.
Do that for sure.
Or, no, hang on. That one's not on my profile. Let's see. It's Shapes. I just played Shapes. You can see recent activity. Shapes. All right.
Okay. It almost sounds
Yep.
dirty if you don't know, so it's good.
Yeah, my pants shapes. Let me hide this game.
Are you playing shapes? Yeah, my
My pants shapes.
You,
That
you
made me
don't want to know
laugh.
what this triangle's about. Okay, so now I've hidden Shapes. Now, if I go back to my profile,
Okay.
well, I still say Shapes. Can someone go to my
Yeah, let me
profile?
see. I'm in your
I'm
profile.
looking.
I still see shapes. I still see it. Recent activity shapes.
Why can't I find
Shit.
you
Just
online?
hold on, let me refresh because I had pulled it up before you hit it. No,
Yeah,
I still
reload.
see it. Is there a different way to hide your purchases?
What if
I still see it.
what about like recently played? Yeah, because it's like showing the whole world on my profile.
Yeah, it's
like,
recent activity shapes. Shadows of Doubt, Dyson Sphere program.
Oh, weird. Yeah, you're not hiding from me either. Maybe it takes
Right,
some time. Maybe it caches. You know?
Well, that's not good. If I buy like something dirty, I need to hide it right away.
Yeah, you don't want to. You
There's
don't
no
want to
point.
drag that out.
Yeah, there's no point in like
Yeah,
hides it an hour later. What the hell's the point of
Yeah,
that?
what's the point? I think we've
Too
learned
late.
a little something here. I think it is cached. It doesn't.
So
I can't find
it is
anything.
in my hidden library. I can confirm it's properly hidden in my library. But if you go to Gorath's profile, it's like there's shapes right there.
Weird.
All right, hang on. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I guess we just confirmed it doesn't work. So
Yeah, I guess it doesn't
GGs.
work the way it's supposed to, but maybe I bet there is a caching thing. That's almost always true of this stuff. All right. Well, Joe, we'll check it out. We got Nelson who wrote in, says, with the latest update to Fortnite, I finally decided to try the game out. And I have 2 kids, both age 10, and we have been playing Lego Fortnite daily. It has been an absolute joy to play that game with my kids, where we all get equal enjoyment. I have also branched out and have now been playing other modes, which have been real fun as well. My question is for John, and it's this. Is the Save the World mode worth purchasing? I'm really into the game right now, and a PvE mode sounds very attractive to the dad in me. I've read a few opinions on it, but nothing that I value as much as John's. Wow. Listen to that.
That's nice.
Keep up the good core crew, or keep up the good work, core crew, says Nelson. So what do you tell Nelson? Worth it? Not?
I got bad news for you, Nelson. I've never played the Save the World mode. I've seen gameplay of it. I would say that if you enjoy survival wave-based gameplay, and if you like the building in Fortnite and the shooting in Fortnite, you might get something out of it. I've never played it. Now, there are a lot of user creations out there. I don't know if any will fully simulate PvE. I do know occasionally Fortnite will add a PvE mode. There have certainly been many games that have included stuff like that. So you can kind of go down that road for free. You don't have to put any money into that. But I would just say sort of gauge your interest in it. It's not like Fortnite PvE. It's a very different game. It's basically a daytime, gather resources, assemble, build up a defense around a perimeter, and then at night everything attacks and you have to fend it off. If that sort of game appeals to you, you might find some interest in it. If it doesn't, I wouldn't recommend it.
That sounds like tower defense.
That type of game I don't typically like very much
I don't either.
unless there's something else to it, and that's why I've never bought it and played it.
Yeah, not a big fan of that stuff myself. Nice, Nelson. Thank you for that. We also got a call, and this phone call, well, it's for you, Bo, and it's an important one. It's about VR, and we're hoping you can give this guy some help.
Okay. Yeah.
So here it is.
Hey, Core Boys. This is Andrew from Uncle Tio. Bo finally convinced me to get a VR headset, plus 3, of course. Boy, I gotta tell you what, I'm sick as a dog playing that thing. Tried Red Matter 2, tried Asgard's Wrath 2. Pretty much anything just makes me sick. I'm curious if you guys have any tips or tricks on how to alleviate nausea or how to minimize it when playing VR games. Love the show.
So I know you don't suffer from this, but do you have any ideas on what you can do to?
What I see are the following that you can set up in options. The first one is don't do continuous motion, do teleportation. Apparently that's helpful, especially if you're seated. I don't know if you're standing and playing with full physicality or just seated and playing. But teleport, moving might induce some motion sickness because you move weird. So, if there's a teleportation option, use it. There's also some games have vignetting as an option. And what that does is that narrows the peripheral vision. I guess it helps because that's a setting. I don't know why you'd have that as a setting in a game. It seems to be for that. So it narrows your vision, less periphery. So you're getting less sick. So that's something that you can do. Those are the 2 things I think are the major tactics for reducing motion sickness. The other one is limiting your activities. I'm with you that VR introduces new problems and dynamics. Like we just talked about, I hate spiders, and while I can play flat screen games with spiders in them, I'm out. Like if every game was to have spiders in it, and I just launch my headset into the sun. So, you're probably, if you just have motion sickness issues, that's okay. You're not going to be able to just overcome your unique set of parameters as a human. Just pick activities and games that don't have a lot of motion in them. So one example is this is only useful if you're interested in learning piano, but Piano Quest is awesome. It uses AR, and you sit there and you have the piano in front of you. Lego Bricktales as well. It's like you don't really you move around. You may still get motion sickness, but if you sit in a chair, the Lego is just in front of you, and you move your dude around with the controller, and then you move the Lego pieces with your controller. There's not much motion. It depends how sensitive you are to these kinds of things. I will say that I've found over time that I've gotten used to I don't get a lot of the sensation I used to get when I first got a headset. And what I mean by that is like, one of the first apps I ever used was some janky ass roller coaster app that flung you off the roller coaster at some point. It wasn't a proper game. It was just someone made some shit in Unity and I was trying it out. Back in those early dev kit days. And that, made me feel something, right? I got dizzy. Same with there was another one that you could just fly. Like you press the space bar, you'd flap your wings, and you just fly over terrain. And I'd feel like, whoa. Or even roller coaster videos, which are available on the MetaQuest store. But you sort of get to a point where you do get desensitized. I don't know if that's the same with motion sickness. I just know I'm less impacted. The more I use it, the less like tricked my brain is that there's real motion going on. It can still happen, but it's not as like it gets weaker over time. So some exposure therapy might help if you're not normally a motion sick person just in VR. You might just be getting acclimatized to, there's that whole thing where movies, people used to go to the movie theater in black and white days and a train would come at it and people would be like, oh, there's really a train. And, now people get gutted from like crotch to face and everyone's like, it's just a movie, whatever. Like, no big deal. No one's like losing their mind. So some of it might be acclimatization to a new media type. However, if you are actually just a severely motion sick person, there's probably nothing you can do. Yeah. But I assume if you were that, you might not have bought it because I don't, unless I tricked you, I think. Yeah. Well, I feel bad because I get no.
Trick you?
Motion has an effect, but I do not get motion sickness. Go up, hang me upside down. Please do not put guardrails on my games. Like I'm 100% fine. But I understand. I don't like spiders. Don't put spiders in my game.
Yeah.
So I understand and empathize, but motion is like the name of the game. It's very hard. I think it's a big ask to figure out how to get away from having motion sickness if that affects you.
So some games early on, I know in the Quest 1 era, Quest 2 era, had this almost like a wormhole effect that you could enable it. Maybe
it's
by
vignetting.
default.
That's vignetting.
Is that vignetting? Okay.
Yeah, it's vignetting.
Okay.
Like the Photoshop. I think when you vignette in photo, I have paint.net, but when I put a vignette on it, puts a black border.
Yeah.
And just does a circle.
Yeah, like
so it'll do that. It does that in real time, and some of them even auto adjust. Like if you're standing still, no vignetting, but as soon as you push the controller around, it'll narrow the vision so you don't.
Yes, exactly. I saw this when I did the Google. They made a Google Maps or Google Earth app for VR that I thought was pretty rad at the time, and you could zoom all over your city and be all huge in it, like Godzilla sized and stuff. But they included this thing, so every time I did any kind of movement, the vignette would go and hold there, and then and then in the menu it said you can disable this, but it greatly helps people with motion sickness. So I don't know if there's a way to categorize game choices based on whether it supports stuff like vignetting or other things like that. I know the Oculus Store does have a little sickness meter thing, right? Like a little indicator.
It might. I haven't looked for that stuff. It might though, because I think they want people to be happy with their purchases. So
yeah, they warn you.
Good thing. Man, they need a spider indicator.
Yeah, I don't think. Let's see. I can tell you real quick here. If I look at the games on their website, the meta site sucks. It used to be good here. Okay.
Yeah, it's better. It's a better experience in the actual headset to like shop.
Yeah.
On the headset.
Oh, here it is. Comfort setting. And this one, so Asgard's Wrath, they have it listed as moderate, and it's yellow. The red ones are the ones that are really movement-y and may be a problem for people, and then the ones that are green are totally good for whoever. It's like your Lego one is a good one.
If you're looking for purchases, like check that out ahead of time because some of them are pretty expensive purchases. So you don't want to spend $60 on something you can't play.
Can you play Asgard's Wrath 2 on a Quest 2?
I believe so. Yeah. because Quest 3, like while it upgrades graphical fidelity, it's not like jumping to a 4080 or something like that. It's like
it's not heads and tails different, I guess.
Yeah. It's they keep their standards are to prioritize the 90 FPS. Your game has to have 90 FPS,
right?
And so a lot of games suffer graphically because of that high restriction.
I could see that. Well, there you go. Thank you for calling in. 801-471-0462. You can leave voicemails just like he did, or you can leave us a text there. That would be fine. I'm here to report that maybe as early as next week, we'll have a new mashup from Jamie.
I've missed him. I've been thinking about Jamie. I hope he's okay. I hope he's not disillusioned with us. Maybe he's just busy and can't.
It's definitely not us. I talk to him all the time. He's doing great. He's still in Canada, just very busy, real life stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know why. I don't know why it mattered that he's still in Canada. I don't know why I said that.
No, I was worried. I'm like, I haven't seen too many of his tweets. I didn't see him in the core chat. I just was worried. I was starting to get worried about him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. I miss our mashups. They're, it's a real service you do to the show because it is labor to get that stuff, and we do appreciate that you do that.
Yeah, they're funny as hell.
All of us to have a good laugh. They're real funny.
I love them. Bo, it says here you have one final note. What do you got there?
I have one final note, and this is mainly for video watchers, not for the people at home, but for audio listeners. I put images.
Just kidding. Go ahead. I'm totally kidding.
I put images up of games I like, but I haven't done it for a while because it's so crowded. And I saw comments run by in the chat about maybe going tabula rasa on this year, and I just wanted to wait, because when I don't have all the pictures up, people are like, "Where's the pictures?"
Yeah, and then when there's all of them up, they're like, "I can barely see Bo." Like, how do you want it, people? Make up your minds.
But I think it's a nice idea to retire everything on here and say goodbye to it all.
Start over.
Start a new year. Like that artwork you do, and then you brush it all away, like you do it on the sidewalk. So. Like Jackie does it even. There's that in this thing in Cyberpunk. So we're going to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye to Harry Dubois. Goodbye, Harry.
Oh, my gosh.
We're going to say goodbye to the Ogren from Darktide.
Oh, my gosh.
And we're going to say goodbye to Scott's Chicken Lord. That's not referencing any of his junk or anything like that. This is art. Megara from Hades. Goodbye, Megara. Uncle Ben, well, rest in peace, Uncle Ben. Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I hope you have a good life. Oh, no, wait, you died. Oops. Zuck. Bye, Zuckerberg. We talk about your product all the time. You don't need to be on here. Phil Spencer. Oh, I just spit in my mic. Phil Spencer, have a good one. Hope from There Will Be Dungeons. I don't know. I might keep you.
Might come back. Yeah, you never know.
Itzy. Anyong Haseo, let's say. All right. Goddo. Might still use it. Demon, whoever the hell that. Oh, Damon from House of Dragon. Hurry up with Season 2.
Yeah, no kidding.
Doom Guy. Make another Doom game. Illidan. Well, we love Liam. I might keep him there. Okay. Imperious. All right. Show up in Diablo 4. Thanks. Sephiroth. We'll see you soon in a couple of months.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
Hammond. Bobby Kotick's gone. Maybe Overwatch can be saved. Good luck.
Maybe.
Bow Wrestling. Oh, that's a hard one to get rid of too. But I have something for you, John. People have been asking to have the Lake Run ring in the WoW Guild for my core wrestler as well as the sword I got. They want to see me with a sword in a ring.
Can you do swords in that game? Can you
message along to you?
Sorta.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Kind of a.
It's up to you. I'm not.
I think I might have to disappoint Bo's Guild in more ways than just not showing up.
This is me This is not me asking. This is just my guild insisting that I tell you.
A Lake Run ring is very doable. We'll get you a ring.
Or maybe just a strap of toilet. Is there a toilet necklace? Maybe just a giant toilet-sized necklace.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know.
That game,
Chris Metzen, congrats on The War Within. Looking forward to playing it. Love me some Chris Metzen.
Yeah.
Claptrap. Well, I have trouble with your company. Every time I play Borderlands, I think about Chris that flash drive at medieval times.
Yeah, medieval times porno flash drive. Yeah,
and I'm like, I should not be playing this game and telling people to play these games.
That made me laugh.
Samus, we need another Metroid. Tell Nintendo. Isaac, I love Dead Space remake. Hopefully, there's Dead Space remake too. Ahsoka, I love the show. People stop bitching about Disney because they did a great job with Ahsoka. Ichiban, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he'll be back real soon. I think.
The not porn folder. Excuse me, that was not a slip. That's gonna stay. I don't want to delete that. There's years
Yeah,
of
leave
work
that up there.
there's years of work that I have backed up in there. I'm not getting rid of that
Gigabytes of
folder.
data contained in that
Yeah,
folder.
it's like
Yeah.
it's just stuff I worked on, not porn. Lazel, well, we broke up, so I guess I have to find a new girlfriend or boyfriend in Baldur's Gate 3.
Klingon
We'll see.
weirdo anyway. You know.
And Megatron, the Transformers will be back without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
and there we go.
All right.
Tabula rasa mostly. Illidan, you got to go too. I'll find another Liam.
I was gonna say Liam
well,
and
'cause
not
it'll make
porn.
it a more interesting thing, whatever is the first thing that
Yeah.
Bo decides to add.
I agree.
I love Liam's voice, and I love Liam and everything. It's just hard. It's hard to take him off. That's all. He's
it is
the hardest one.
It is hard to do that. He's. Did I tell you the story about how he sent a picture to my niece, and
Yeah,
she's like a
yeah.
diehard fan. She almost fainted and
So
cried.
nice.
Yeah. She almost fainted and cried while we were at this party. She goes, I can't believe this. Is that really him? I'm like, here, zoom in. Let's look at his face all up close. Oh my gosh. I mean, she was losing it. It was really funny and cute. She was very cute about it. All right. Well, there you go. That's awesome, Bo. I love it. We'll see next week what you add to your thing. And if you come live to the show when we record at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, you can see this stuff for yourself or watch the VOD on YouTube afterwards. I want to tell you about some. Oh, go ahead. What?
I was just gonna say, now there's pants. You get to see pants.
Oh yeah, look at
yeah,
that
yeah,
pants.
look at that.
I like
There's
that.
pants on
We
that
can
chair.
see so much of Bo's life now.
And that's a box of craft dinner.
Wait.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Okay.
There you go.
What's the thing in the back that's orange with a bunch of black on it? What
This
is that?
thing here?
Yeah. Yeah, on the other.
It's
yeah.
a box for my scooter, my electric scooter, that's broken, but I still have the box.
Can you fix it? Is it fixable?
No. I mean, maybe I popped the tire and got to put a new tire tube
Oh,
in it.
shit.
But I got to unhook the whole thing, and I'm like, cars are not my wheelhouse. Scooters included.
Does your throbbing not porn folder have to throb? Is that a requirement of the throb of the?
I mean,
porn
it's
folder?
just moving from the data.
From all the stuff that's in it. Yeah,
Yeah,
rhythmically
yeah.
moving. I might add to a certain rhythm to it, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you about some patrons that joined us this week that thought we were cool enough to belly up in this new year. And man, you guys did not disappoint in this last week. Patreon.com/core show welcomes Mackenzie Smith, Ivan, Brett Capstick, Jim Conti, Robert. Wait, that can't be Jim Conti, the guy that owns Patreon. I have
What?
to look into
I
that.
like to think that he knows a quality product when he sees
It
it.
can't be him.
Hell
though.
yeah.
There's
He
no
probably
way.
discovered it through his
He better
website.
be a high tier patron, though.
I get
It's
somebody.
Jack Conti. It's
Oh, Jack,
Conti.
not Jim. Duh. I knew
His
that.
brother.
Like,
It's his brother Jim.
you never know.
One of them made the website. The other is a patron.
That's
on the
right.
website.
We also got a Robert Rothand, but here's what I want to do for him. Hold on. All Roberts get that treatment, okay?
Best voice line in gaming.
It's pretty amazing. Well done, From Software. Jerome is here. Joseph Humphreys, Karsten Cole, Sleepy Weasel, Sam Soto Sains, Ryan Wedby, or Weedby
That's
probably.
a name.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Ken J, Gerald Null, which means zero, but we don't think of him that way, and Kinetics, spelled funny. You guys are awesome, and that means that you're going to get no commercials ever. You might be able to be, I don't know if you are, but if you're on the level to get you the artwork in the mail every month, I got new stuff going up here shortly. Every month to get that collectible stuff, and no one else gets it in the whole world but you. You get other monthly benefits. You get video game, or I mentioned that. You get host specials every month. John's got something cooking for January. Excited?
Oh, I think it's me.
thought
Oh, is it Bo?
was
Sorry,
doing
my
It
bad.
was me.
Bo.
Yeah,
It's Bo.
It might be later January, but I'm working on a few core things.
Yeah, whatever you got going is great. I can't wait for it. And you get pre and post show content every single week. By the way, for those at home that are like a little confused that I put the pre-show in with the Patreon file instead of separate, this was because a lot of you have been requesting it. Not everyone, but a lot. And I also ran a poll, and the poll clearly said, yes, we'd like it all in one. So to help out those who want to know when the show proper starts and when the pre-show ends, if you skip that stuff, I also put in our notes now when that happens. So you can just jump to that timestamp and bam, Bob's your uncle. Or Robert's your uncle. All right. That'll do it for us today. Frogpants.com/core for everything else. Let's toss it to Grandma, who will catch us up on what games we played this week. Grandma, take it away.
And if you thought they were slacking because the new year, you were wrong. There's a lot of games here, so I don't blame you for not paying attention. But pay attention now, because I'm going to tell you what they played.
Yeah.
Scott played Shapez. There's the Z. He also played Horizon Zero Dawn. That's got a Z too. And he just started Pizza Tower. That's got 2 Zs.
Wow.
In case you're just keeping track of where all the damn Zs are.
Yeah.
What's a Z?
Letter Z.
Zed? You mean Zed?
Yeah, Z.
Zed.
Oh, sorry, Canada.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't being considerate to the other parts of the world that call it Zed. John played Slay the Princess. No Zeds there. He played Red Dead Redemption 2, Stacklands, Baldur's Gate 3, Sea of Stars, Final Fantasy X, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and, come on, let's be real, probably WWE 2K23.
Yeah.
Bo played World of Warcraft. You know, the game he's going to play once a week.
For 2 hours.
He's got a lockdown on his game time. He's got too many games to play to dedicate it to one. So he played World of Warcraft, Season of Discovery. He played Shadows of Doubt. And he played Dungeons of Eternity and the virtual reality.
Ooh, that's fancy. That's fancy as hell. And you at home are fancy. So come join us next week for a whole nother fancy episode of Core. Go play some games. Go have some fun. I hope your new year is awesome. And we'll see you then.
Get more at frogpants.com.
The tribe I served is gone.
That's a sad one to end on.